Hey yo, hey
Hey,
yo, hey yo. I
we
wish
back.
Piercy, you better be in this fucking live stream because
Yeah,
this one is for real this time. I don't care. You better be watching this back if you're not here right now. But my
I better see
God,
comments. I want to see you commenting because we are back, baby. And ladies and gentlemen, not only are we back, we're here to celebrate the return of the greatest rapper alive, Kendrick Lamar. Dude,
yes sir.
did you think we get the chance to say that on stream like
You
ever?
know, I don't know. It was up there with like Frank Ocean has released a new album. Like those are the
Yeah.
words that will never leave my mouth. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen. Kendrick Lamar. We already know Missing Morale, the Big Steppers.
Yes,
We got the
sir.
Heart Part 5. Definitely going to talk about that. We got a new album on the horizon tonight. I think, is it dropping? Do you know if it's dropping like normal times, or is he going to pull a Kanye and do them tomorrow morning, or do we know anything?
I honestly, that's the beautiful thing about this album is that we don't know shit about shit. Um,
Yeah.
but I am anticipating a normal release. I don't think
Okay.
from his track record like suggests that we're not getting like yeah, like a Kanye drop where it's like, oh, midnight, like where is it? And then it just drops at like 6:45 a.m. or some shit. Like
Better
I
not,
think we're
bro.
getting the release tonight, like
Okay.
9 p.m. Eastern, no, Pacific Standard Time,
Okay.
midnight Eastern. So
Yes,
I think we're
sir.
good for now. But yeah, guys, what's up? What's up? Let me see some hype in the chat. Let me see you spam some fire emojis.
Yes,
Some
bro.
let's
New
get some
K dot
on.
tonight. I posted on my story. The second this thing drops, you will not be hearing from me. And if you are hearing from me, it's just I found God. I will become the most insufferable Kendrick Dick Rider on the planet the moment this drops, okay? And y'all
Okay.
can clip that. Y'all can, take that out of context, but you know what I was talking about.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
y'all, especially y'all hating on the TikTok content. I will say that's
Yo.
the
Yo, I want to see. Yo, who is that person? Let me find his name real quick later on. But
yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, we've been doing more shit on there. So follow us on there at Our Thoughts Podcast,
Yes.
all that stuff. But
Ooh, man.
I will best believe on the Instagram story, it's just gonna be all like, wow, interpretations of this, oh, the new uncovered of that. Like, I'll just be amazed by this album. I already know it's gonna be whatever it is, whatever Kendrick wants it to be. I know it's gonna be like worth my time. We are talking a little bit before the stream of just like
This is 5 years, bro.
5 years in the
5 years.
making.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're gonna get to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in a bit. You know, we're gonna run down everything we know, just kind of similar to what we did with Don FM. That pre-album party stream was super fun. So hopefully,
Crazy.
we got a lot planned here. It's gonna be a good time. Thank you in advance for spending your time with us because this is gonna be, I think, one of those albums that we remember as like, wow, like
Like
we were here for this one.
best
You know,
of the
like
decade, bro. Like it has
yeah.
to save everything right now. Like it just has. I know like oh like don't put your expectations so high, but it's like it's Kendrick, bro. I only expect like greatness. So how can I not?
Mhm.
I'm not saying that this is gonna be, you know, could I mean, maybe I am saying it's gonna be the best album of all. No, I mean, we'll see what it's well,
Maybe.
maybe but it just has that feeling, after the Heart Part 5, just the artistry and how dense of a track and video that was. Like that's not even usually the hearts are just a little appetizer of what we'll actually get in the album. So that might not even be indicative of what the album even sounds like, looks like. I mean, we're in the same realm, but for the album, we never know what we're gonna get going into a Kendrick Lamar album. So I think I'm just super excited, very, very, very curious who's on the album. I don't know if you guys saw that fake track list that was going around. That was funny as fuck.
Spidey Senses
Yeah,
featuring Peter Parker.
they
What
got,
was it? Dottie with the Thotty,
yeah they got
Blueface.
they got on like track 20 was Rico featuring Rico Nasty and the YSL gang. I'm like, oh my
Oh
god,
my God. No,
yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Or
Damn.
like Bob, or it was like one of them was called like Bob from SpongeBob. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it took a while. I forget. It was like the first record. I was like, I forgot what the title of the first song was. First song.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, interesting title for the. It just didn't register me as a fake track
Yeah,
list.
yeah,
So I was just like, oh, that's an interesting track list. Okay, okay. And then as I got to, I think it was Dottie with a Thotty was featuring Blueface, where I was like,
yeah.
this
Featuring
isn't what I
Blueface.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Matt mentioned this. I'm just gonna leave it in the chat if you guys are watching this back. If you guys want to save this for later, here's our latest video, or not latest video, latest Kendrick video, talking about predicting that this next album is gonna save humanity and mass media as we
I'm
know it.
I'm telling you, bro. Our Thoughts has a good track record, all right? A lot of the things that we say age nicely,
Pretty
opposed
well,
to,
yeah.
well, leaving out Cesco's first record label draft that we did about 3 or 4 years ago.
Let's not
I
talk about it. Let's
mean,
not talk. I hate that you talked about it. Now we got. Now I
I think
gotta
that's the most
deny
poorly
it.
aged thing ever.
I'm deleting that literally like as we
Yeah.
speak now. Yeah, it was literally like I remember my second pick, the second pick overall. I could have drafted anyone, Tyler the Creator. I don't know. There's just so many rappers to draft. I draft Chance the Rapper because I
Yeah.
had because I said I believe I said he has like the brightest future of all the rappers, I think.
That
So
was like the Drake effect or something because he went downhill like from there.
my God, imagine if Kendrick does the same arc.
No, okay, we're not gonna
Anyways,
chance
anyways.
anything. All right, anyway,
So, anyways, let's go ahead and discuss some new Kendrick music, man. Isn't that just a crazy thing to say? Some new Kendrick music.
bruh.
The Heart Part 5, his first single in 5 years.
Over
And
like almost, someone said this is the first he or what did they say? The first song that Kendrick dropped in almost like 1,500 days or something, and I
wow.
was like,
Wow.
wow.
Like think about how much of your life has changed since
Yeah,
then. Obviously, like 25 years, we were still in high school. Like,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
you know,
2017. That was
like
when we graduated.
pandemic like felt like 4 years, so that's like another 10 years stacked onto that.
Crazy. So it's been about a
So
decade since Kendrick dropped.
it's been a decade. So here we are. Let's just take it piece by piece. So first of all,
Okay.
you know, get the notification. Let's say we open up Spotify. The album cover is really cool. It was like the six hands of the
Hmm.
people whose perspective he's rapping from. It was Nipsey, Will Smith, Kobe, Kanye, OJ, and Jussie Smollett.
Yeah,
Jussie
Jesse
Smollett.
Smollett.
And it's like pictures of them like holding up the five, and I was like, damn, like that is like eerie. Obviously I didn't know about that listening to the song first,
Yeah.
but as I look back on it, it was really cool. But then, so how did you listen to it first? Did you watch a music video first with it? Did you just listen to it on
Um,
Spotify?
I how did I do it? Oh, it kind of came out at a time I was literally on my way out the door. So it wasn't really the best timing. I was on my way to work. And so I listened to the song first, which is I mean, the song is cool, but I think it's really about the video.
Mhm.
But even the song, I was like I just pulled it up on Spotify. I was starting to listen to it. I mean, off the bat, straight into jazz funk Kendrick.
Mm,
Some of his best work is in the To Pimp a Butterfly era. I mean, some people say one of the greatest albums of all time is To Pimp a Butterfly. So Kendrick's like jazz, funk, psychedelic inspired music has been like really cemented him as like one of the greats. I feel like so already we're back in that, and I think I've just been
mhm.
on this '70s craze anyway. Like thanks to Silk Sonic and
Yeah.
the doors that opened, like the way that opened my ears, and so I'm grooving to the beat. You know, the hard piano. They got the rising synths. You know,
Mhm.
the bongo drums. Like it's all coming in, and like it's just this dense instrumental. And then when Kendrick starts rapping, man, I mean, when he just starts talking, he's like, I want to thank my fans or like all the
Mhm.
people. You know, like he's like literally, he sounds like a prophet, like descending onto our earth again, the way he's
Yeah.
like proclaiming his message. Um, so first impressions, I was like, this is it, bro. Like this is exactly what I need, and the sound is right. I'm like, I'm feeling it.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. I remember I got the notification. We were celebrating Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
mothers. I hope y'all didn't forget. And I remember coming home and I was like, oh shit, new Kendrick. we back. Like first of all, I had a second where I had to kind of just walk around the house being like, wow, like this is about to be like,
This is
you
really my
know,
life.
yeah, this is really my this is really my life. Can't believe this happened to me. You know, like damn, like this is about to be my first time like hearing new Kendrick Lamar in 5 years. Like
Yeah,
crazy, you know. So I had to
crazy.
like kind of like appreciate that moment a little bit, and then I pressed play on the music video, and just seeing him with the afro, I was like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
this is like how I described it. I went on IG live for a quick bit on the Our Thoughts podcast.
Oh yeah, let me know what
And
y'all discuss on there. I did not get a chance to hop in. I was at work the whole time, but I saw you were
yeah,
live.
yeah, I hopped on a little bit and was just like, freaked out, checked in, and I was just like, man, like this really feels like Kendrick, like at the peak of his powers. Like, we've gotten this is like what the past what are the 4 albums and really like the last decade has worked up to, where now he's like, the fully recognized, reclaimed prophet that, and he's confident in himself and confident in his role in the culture. And now he
Mm,
feels like he can, he feels confident in the stuff that he's saying. So he's seeing him, you know, like freaking like, yeah, Afro out, getting ready to
yeah.
like, and rapping like this on the confident like G Funk type, which I love. Like
Mm-hmm.
I remember when like you were describing the instrumental, I was like, Hard Part series is like very rapidy rap. So him kind of going on this like Marvin Gaye
Yeah, more
type
melodic. Yeah,
instrumental. Yeah, I was like, how's he gonna go? And sure enough, he does what he needs to do on there. So
right.
no, really love this record. The music video. Let's talk about the music video.
Bro,
Um,
we need to talk about Kendrick Kanye or whatever.
mm,
Kanyendrick, whatever they're saying.
Kendrick.
That okay. What was your
Yeah,
like
yeah.
first reaction to like the changing it, like the deep fake, like all of a sudden he's OJ Simpson and then he's Kobe, what were you thinking when you saw him just kind of change? Cuz honestly it was like a jump scare to me.
Oh, it was so creepy. It was. I remember my first time it happened. I was like, whoa! Like I legitimately like knocked my head back. Like, damn! Like, what is this? But it wasn't until I believe it was when Kanye came up and he said like, oh, my friends say that I'm bipolar or something like that. He said
Mm,
and I was like, oh shoot! Like, this isn't just for shock value. It's not like Drake's Energy music video. Remember where they kind
right.
of just like impose his face onto like Miley Cyrus, Wrecking Ball,
Right.
and Into a Baby and all that stuff. It's literally like the perspective he's rapping from for whatever
For,
those couple bars
yeah.
are, like Will Smith.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like insane. That's exactly what I wanted from Kendrick. Like something I didn't know I needed was, and him like honing a craft of himself is like rapping from different perspectives. It's like one of the big things
Mhm.
that we talk about Kendrick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like this dude is doing it again, like giving me exactly what I want. So definitely really creepy. Apparently it was the South Park creators that helped with that.
Interesting.
He's collabing with on that
On
PG Lang
that film.
short
Yeah.
film about like his, yeah,
Well,
yeah. If you
I
guys
think
don't
it's a
know, he has a
feature.
short film coming out where he's,
I think it's a feature
oh,
film.
feature.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Mhm.
dope. Yeah, basically he's working with the South Park creators. It's about like a couple who the girl works, his girlfriend works at a like, no, he works at like a African American like cultural exhibit or whatever, and
Yes.
his girlfriend's parents are racist or slave owners.
Yeah, so he's working the it's a screenplay that I think Kendrick co-wrote or wrote and it's about a guy, this black guy who works at um it's like African American history, but they like reenact stuff, which is kind of weird. And then a girl
Mm.
he meets there that becomes his girlfriend. They learn that the girlfriend's parents owned like or great great grandparents ancestors owned his ancestors in
Oh my
slavery.
God.
Um,
It sounds like an episode of Atlanta.
yeah, which is gonna be funny. I already know,
Love it.
but yeah, that's cool. They're kind of. I mean, I'm sure they're like Kendrick and the South Park creators are both hand in hand right now, so it makes sense how they like had a big part in this music video. But talking about the perspective, or what you talking about, where he's kind of like rapping from all these individuals' perspectives. I think why that's like you were like, oh, I know, like this is what I needed for Kendrick and stuff like that. What's really cool is like, and I don't know if this is going to be indicative of what the actual album is, but Kendrick has this storytelling ability to create these characters and then put on this persona and then rap within, you know, from that character's perspective, which is what we saw throughout Good Kid, Mad City. You know, that's why it's like a short film by Kendrick. You know, it was like all these moments where you're with these characters, and they're like they even have dialogue and stuff like that, and you have like all these characters that have different voices. And so he did that a lot in Good Kid, Mad City, whereas in like To Pimp a Butterfly, it was more like different versions of himself, whether it was him like super drunk, you know, like in what is it,
Yeah.
You, or whatever that song is, or Mama, I forget, I don't know what the fuck he says. But he like becomes different versions of himself, and then in Damn, it's like he kind of ditches that idea where it's not really from different perspectives, it's more like just from his own subjective perspective. But with this Heart Part 5, we're back to that. So we're back to like the Good Kid, Mad City, like rapping from all these other individuals, all the big steppers, which I think are gonna be, like I think we almost called it like what it was. We said that we think the big steppers could be like all the big like prominent people in the culture, whether that's Kanye, you know, Drake, or Will Smith, you know, like all these other people
Mm,
that have been in the limelight, but then have kind of been cannibalized by the limelight and stuff like that, and villainized. And so rapping from their perspective, I think, is going to be the ultimate just like look on what Kendrick really is saying about the culture, or whatever it is, just about us.
mm.
So that I really loved, and I mean, you can go into the Genius page, and there's like paragraphs on paragraphs on just one, like each individual line, like it's so dense. Um, but yeah, I think just the whole idea of like morphing into all these different people, like with the deep fake, and then
Mm.
rapping from their perspective was just like, I don't know, it just kind of felt like it felt like it was obvious. I'm like, yeah, like this makes sense. Like Kendrick would do something like this, but of like only Kendrick could think of something like that, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I want to focus on like the last two verses, or
Mm-hmm.
the last verse and the last two people he morphs into, Kobe Bryant and Nipsey Hussle. I got very emotional during that last bit. Like this music, that what my first time watching that music, I was like, damn, like I miss seeing Kobe's face, like
Oh shit,
talking,
yeah.
like doing, like, and the way that Kendrick would like morph his facial expressions into like he'd do kind of like the expressions Kobe would do on the court, like when he just hit a game winner, he'd be like, you know. And I was just thinking like, damn. And then he goes into Nipsey Hussle, and then he has that whole thing about,
Mm-hmm.
tell my sister, or tell my, kids to watch my interviews, like let
Right.
them know that I love them. And to my killer, he forgives the killer. Like that was a
Yeah.
really like incredible moment, really took us on.
Yeah.
And it had me thinking of, he says on To Pimp a Butterfly, it's literally how the whole album ends. He says, uh Tupac says, we're not rapping, we're just letting our dead homies speak for us. And I was like, dang, like
Yeah.
the fact that these albums, they're not just like little pieces of art and then he kind of just, does away with them, or like, he appreciates for what they are and then move on to the next thing. Like they each leave like a lasting kind of thing about him, and he's able to still like call back to them. It's kind of like what we love
Yeah.
about The Weeknd, where
Mm.
the albums, there's a chance that a lesson he has learned on a previous song might pop in, or
Mm-hmm.
a theme that comes back up again, or even a bar. um so I'm just thinking
That
about it,
is
I'm like,
interesting you say
damn.
that, because like, you know, with like the Tupac thing, you know, from like To Pimp Butterfly, I think I forget which song it is, but he has one song where it ends and it's like the rest is just a conversation that he's having between him and Tupac,
Yeah.
which originally is, you know, obviously Kendrick wasn't really old enough to be having a conversation like this, and when Tupac was around, so he kind of edited and cut together this previous interview with Tupac, and then cut in his own commentary over it to have this fake conversation. But they talk about some real shit, and like he somehow makes it work. So that's one way he kind of incorporated like a really prominent rapper who's passed away. I'm wondering if there's going to be a moment similar to that on this album with Nipsey, or who else? I don't know who else passed. DMX, like, you know. But I think like
Mm.
Nipsey, I think, is someone who Kendrick like related to heavily, especially with how he delivered that line, and like from his perspective of Nipsey Hussle, like very bold of him to be like, if I was Nipsey, I would forgive the person who shot me, you know, but because I felt like I had done everything I needed to do on this world, on this in this life, I had delivered my message, like that's it, like he's kind of come to terms with it. And
Mhm.
so I feel like that might be alluding to more of like Nipsey having some sort of presence on the album, or just like I feel like it's just more than just Nipsey. The idea of Nipsey, like him speaking through him, and or something like that, can lives more than just on the Hard Part Five, and I can totally see being like an aspect of the album if he goes that route. And I think it
Yeah.
would be interesting if he did that.
Yeah, I think PG Lang posted something like when the Hard Part 5 came out, they said they posted a screen grab and it said Oklahoma, I am all of us. I
Yeah,
think it was supposed to be a quote from Oklahoma, and it has me thinking that yeah, he will kind of what we've been saying all this time about what Kendrick can bring to this album is that I think it's going to be so personal to him that it feels like he's talking on behalf of, you know,
yeah,
the entire like culture, or on black people's behalf, like just because that struggle is the same for all of, for all black people like walking
right,
in the United States. Like they all have to worry about, what if the police pulls them over, they got to worry about being discriminated, like they all feel that way. So it's going to just be so personal and so intimate with him that we feel it, uh we feel it to the extent that we had with To Pimp a Butterfly, with Dan, all
hmm.
that stuff. So
What do
just really
you
exciting, man.
what do you think? What do you think? Will Smith thought when he saw his face pop up on Kendrick
First of all,
over the lines of hurt people, you know?
oh
Like,
man,
damn.
that was, I was very interested in how he was going to tackle that topic, because so far we've heard like by the way, that was the, I think to me that was the best deep fake of them all. Like it
Yeah.
really looked like Will Smith was like bumping to
Yeah.
some G-Funk.
Jesse Smollett looked good too, but
Just Smollett looked
like
good.
the Kanye one is what I think haunts me. Cause it's just
That's your sleep paralysis
yeah,
demon.
yeah. And you can see it's in the thumbnail of this video, so I put it up. There's a reason for that.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
So yeah, with Will Smith, I was really interested to see his topic, because so far there's been two camps, kind of like either, oh,
Right.
he's the worst person in the world, and you should not conduct violence like that, or
Yeah. Or it's like,
he's
oh, that's what I
protecting
would
his
have done.
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, oh, he protected his wife. You can't joke about that, that kind of thing. But also, I really like Kendrick's perspective, where it's like, look, like people are also keep calling it like, oh, they're basically the essential kind of thing is like he's saying, you guys are saying that this is our culture, like this is just how black people do, but that's not
Right.
it. It's just because he's hurt, he's traumatized,
Yeah.
his mental health
It's gone too
led him down
far.
that road.
Yeah. And now
Yeah,
they're like people are like they're applauding and like they're saying like, oh, this is what it's about, when like I think
yeah,
like you said, Kendrick is saying the opposite, where it's like, no, like we have gone way too far if we're tolerating this kind of stuff at
yeah.
the highest level, like literally.
Yeah, this
um
isn't a race thing. This isn't about society as a whole. It's about this dude's trauma, and like the
right.
trauma he has to carry, every day. So, and getting made fun, like not gonna lie, getting made fun of every day on the internet and having people meme you about the day that you cucked your wife or whatever is just like it would do a number on me too. So I
Literally, there are posts for every one of his family members and how they've
yeah,
this, I don't even know what it would be called, but just look to somewhere else for a father figure. Like I remember it was like, I mean, there's countless shit from Jada, but then there's like a post from Jaden Smith, and it's him and like J. Cole, and he's like, you're the one who guides me, you are
yeah,
like I look to you for mentorship. And everyone's like, you got Will Smith is your father, like. So
yeah.
everyone's like, damn, bro, it was just leading up, like he just snapped.
I know, and it sucks that it had to happen like that dramatically.
Yeah, or like
But
Willow writing the letter to to Tupac or whatever, like,
oh,
"Mommy misses you," bruh.
it's yeah, it's been a tough year for him, man, or a tough
Yeah,
couple years. So I like his take on that. I think that's kind of, and again, that's like what we were talking about. Where it was like, I want to hear Kendrick's. Oh, I think someone subscribed.
yeah,
Who does that
appreciate
say?
it.
And that's all I can see. But thank you for
Oh,
subscribing. What's good? Hopefully you like the channel. But yeah, I don't know. It's just what I was talking about with, I really want to hear Kendrick's perspective on the culture and things that have subsided the last couple years.
mm-hmm.
COVID and the whole like
Right.
it's just been a lot, man. So I hope this was like a nice kind of tease for what to get. what we're gonna get. I don't know. Yeah, do you have any more takes on the Will Smith thing? Because I want to talk about. I would like to follow up on our Kendrick's about to save humanity thing.
Okay, no, let's follow up on that.
Okay, so some people made fun of it. It was our first time, like really, like some of our videos getting passed around, man, on Instagram Reels, on TikTok. It was really fun seeing people's reactions to just like us, like you
Hmm.
know. And we came out with a video recently. I just linked it like a while ago. It's Kendrick Lamar, why Kendrick Lamar's next album is gonna save humanity. And we kind of went into like how music has kind of gone into like a repetitive cycle. You know, people aren't really pushing the culture. They just want to do what's trendy and get the views and the
Right.
streams and the TikTok plays and all that. And it's really interesting because the the week that video drops, Kendrick comes out with the Heart Part 5, and he comes out with this album that's dropping tonight. And I think it's really appropriate that this album drops the week after Jack Harlow's album drop.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get into the Jack Harlow hate because I feel like it's kind of running its course. It's getting kind of corny and all that stuff.
Mm.
But tune in next stream where you can tune in on on the Jack Harlow hate. We'll talk a little bit more about there, but it's not really about Jack Harlow. Because I'm just thinking about all these rappers that are the music lately has just been so repetitive or and all that fun stuff. So the fact that Kendrick comes back with the Heart Part 5, and I'm talking to some of my friends and they're like, damn, yeah, like either they're like I didn't get it or like
Mm.
just kind of like whatever. Or some people are like, dude, I love it, it was so reflective, it said so much. Is exactly what we were talking about, was like I think Kendrick is going to demand something from the listener
Yeah.
that they're not used to, just because of how they've been, kind of primed the last couple of years with TikToks and all that stuff. And here we are, like now we're getting people, getting back into studying music and lyric and kind of getting into the roots of it all. Like I'm thinking of like Don FM. People were so confused of, oh, like this 80s vibe, like what is it? And then you look into it, you delve into
Mm.
it. Silk
Hmm.
Sonic,
Yes.
you get to see the R&B, funk, and see the artists that influence them. And now with the Heart Part 5, we get this Marvin Gaye sample that speaks so much to like what Kendrick wants from, the hood. He wants the hood to love him and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn, like we're really turning that corner, I think, of, we had this very very big block of period where people's attention spans were going down. I hate that I'm like sounding like I know shit, but I really don't. I'm just noticing things. um and people kind of asking less from the listener, and now we're getting Kendrick to come back and he's doing what we want him to do. So I don't know. What do you think about that? And just following up with that whole video and our saving humanity thing. We were kind of talking a little bit before the stream,
Yeah.
but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think it definitely felt like a little bit of a stretch when we were like, oh, he's gonna reset the game. Like this is gonna be a new direction for hip hop. Like it, like we said, it's like been going in circles. Everybody is even, and the thing is like the people we used to look towards to pushing that boundary for rap and hip hop has started to kind of delve into the things that kind of made it or are bringing it down, which is that kind of trying to be trendy thing, not trying to be timeless is how I put it. Um, and so, we got a little bit of push, like a very small amount of pushback from the few people who saw
Yeah.
our TikToks and stuff. And they were like, they basically just didn't agree that Kendrick, one, was going to be the one to do that for us, to like bring us back around. And that two, they didn't agree that no one was out here pushing boundaries, but I mean, if we look at it, like what's on like the top 100 hip hop, playlists for Spotify right now, it's probably like Jack Harlow's sleeper songs, it's probably some, G Herbo or some shit up there, like,
Yeah.
just some, stuff that sounds good for the moment or is good for like a 5 second TikTok thing. But no one, I feel like, is making albums, like making him like that.
Mhm.
As to the caliber that Kendrick is, obviously, but just in general. I'm definitely overgeneralizing though, but
Yeah.
just like what's being popularized. And so Kendrick drops Heart Part 5 and basically talks about exactly that in a different way, you know, not from the music standpoint, but from a cultural standpoint, where it's like we're basically we've lost our way. You know, we are
Mm.
becoming a product of our time, and like we're not looking past like the things that have been confining us the past 2, 3, 4 years. You know, since since there was this massive shift in society and culture and stuff like that that everybody in the world went through. We are kind of like we're not keeping up with like what we should be doing. And so Kendrick basically was saying how he was critiquing that, and I feel like it came at a perfect point and basically proved our point. I was like, yeah, look, like literally the day that came out, people were commenting like Kendrick is here to save us. Like every time Complex posts a video of Drake and Jack Harlow together, everyone's like, man, I'm just glad that Kendrick is back. You know, like literally, like everything right now is just like Kendrick is here and Kendrick is gonna help us get to where we need to be. And you can say that we're dick riding, you can say that it's a hyperbole or whatever, but like,
But
you
fuck it,
know,
man. We dick riding.
but like,
We dick eating, bro.
hey
I
yo,
don't care.
hey
You know
yo,
that
hey
video
yo,
of
hey yo,
LeBron James shooting a jump shot, and you see the dude on the bench in the back. He's like, he's like doing the move with him, and
oh,
then when
yeah.
LeBron shoots, he shoots with him. He's like, that's us right now with Kendrick. We're
Bruh,
like,
yeah,
yo, bro,
like
shoot your shot.
from
We're
the
shooting right
side.
there with you. Yeah.
It's so funny. That whole thing, ain't no way I could be dick riding this hard. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, it's like to the point where you can't support the person you like. It's,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
just
kind of
great.
funny. But
It's funny. Yeah.
we'll dick ride, no dick eating though. I don't know where that came from. I'm not none of that. But no, we will take the credit where we thought we got it. You know, with
Hmm.
where our Kendrick is coming from, and what this could do. But nah, man, I'm hyped. This album, we'll see. I'm very curious who's gonna be on the album as well. If we're thinking
Hmm.
about track lists, I mean, we got that fake track list, but
Yeah,
you know,
Spider-Man's gonna drop the. We
yeah,
don't know which Spider-Man though. We don't know if it's gonna be Toby, if it's gonna be Andrew, if
it
it's gonna be
probably
Tom.
it would probably be um Toby Maguire.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. Just
If Spider Man was on it, that's who
I'd
I'd
like to
want it.
see Tom Holland in his British like or in his normal voice. Like it's just you just hear a random, hello sir, like
Kendrick,
hello Kendrick, another. Another one. I don't know why DJ Khaled was about to
another
turn
one.
into Tom Holland. But here, let's look in the chat here. We haven't really been talking to you guys, but what's up, man? Sparsh was good. Was good. Kendrick's about to give us a cultural reset.
Yes, sir.
Kitchen Boy, bro. I swear, fools out here thinking Playboy Cardi changing music. Hey, man. I'm not like the craziest Playboy Cardi fan, but I will say he's in that like stack of artists that I would say is like pushing music in some way,
Yeah, he's kind
like
of the
he's
only
trying to innovate.
half exception.
Yeah, like he's trying to innovate a certain subgenre of hip hop, which or music as a whole. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else would you say? I think that's an interesting discussion, real quick, before we get into
Sure.
Mr. Brown, the Big Steppers, kind of like what we know, and then our predictions and all that stuff. And then we'll have a couple, we'll reminisce on some cool Kendrick moments, and then get into our draft. So that'll be fun. But let's talk about real quick, like what are the artists that you feel like are like pushing music that we think are like quality music, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Um, I think I've really been enjoying Pusha T's album lately.
yeah.
It's all dry. That really took a moment to grow on me. Like, I
Mm,
really was like this. I'm like, this is not as good as Daytona. And I don't think it is, but I think it's definitely like a spiritual successor to Daytona. And some of the ideas on that project are really really cool. Again, I think Pusha is just showing us that he can be super charismatic and I mean, there's just pure Coke bars through and through. But like, even though
mhm.
it's just about the Coke bars, I was like, he's still like giving us more than what a lot of other rappers have been giving us lately. So I feel like Pusha's been doing that, pushing us forward, pun
Mm,
intended. Um, but in terms of like hip hop and rap, I would say Baby Keem. He's a fresh sound that, I wouldn't say he's innovating really like that much. I think he's just a fresh sound. Just
yeah.
the Baby Keem voice. The ideas, he's definitely still learning. A lot of the ideas for the tracks off of Melodic Blue were heavily influenced from Kanye, from his older cousin, from Tyler sometimes. Like, he's definitely still learning, but I feel like he has a lot of potential. Um, I'm gonna throw Yeet in there.
Babytron.
Babytron. Nah, I mean, of those, like, I don't even know what kind of. It's kind of just like trap Atlanta, rap music that's kind of like very heavily influenced from like Young Lean in the day.
Hmm.
I feel like Yeet is definitely pushing that forward.
Yeah.
But other than that, Cardi definitely is the one who's really taken rap to a different genre completely and doing it right.
Cardi
Um,
B.
Cardi B, yeah, especially with
Hmm.
uh, what the fuck is her album called?
Invasion of Privacy.
Invasion of Privacy. Clearly the best rap album of that year.
Clearly,
Um,
it won the Grammy, so
yeah,
that's all you need to say.
that means it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, not really. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Kanye's not. I don't think Kanye's pushing anything really too far out of what we've already seen from Kanye with Donda. I
Hmm.
mean, Drake is Drake, and then you have Jack Harlow. But we need Kendrick. End of the day,
We
we need
need him
Kendrick.
bad. Evidently, we've needed him badly.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album, what to expect, things we know so far, all that fun stuff. So
I'm gonna link something in the chat here if you guys would like to pre-save the album here. I have it right here. My friend just linked it to me. So pre-save the album coming in the chat. Chesco, if
hey,
you want to open that up yourself.
yep, that's what I'm doing, man. I gotta get
There
this.
you go, everybody. Open that up real quick.
Appreciate you hooking it up. But yeah, man. So here we are. This is crazy. Oh my God. Yo, is this
Yo.
based off based off the nav bar? This is
Yeah,
all
yeah,
based off
yeah.
the nav bar?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You would visit toilet looking like poop.
Here we go, y'all. Here's the album pre-save.
That's
Mr.
crazy. I can't.
Morale.
You can hear it right now. The Our Thoughts exclusive. There you go.
There you go. Mr. Morale, Big Steppers. We got track one, Fart Sounds. Track two, Bra number one. We
Hmm.
got Poop Fart following that. Jingle Farts featuring farting jingle bells. And then we
Okay.
got the
Okay.
Diarrhea Bounce Back. Pooping my fingernails to follow that up. So I mean it's looking right, no clear, maybe it's hidden features or something like that,
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
for the farting jingle. Um, but a
The
lot to
fart
think
part
about.
five.
The fart part five. There you go.
Out of bro, imagine if someone comes up with something like that, that would be crazy. I would love. So there you go, Our Thoughts exclusive. Thank you to Matt for
just
dropping that in the
just
chat for
locked
us.
in. That's the official track list. Only 5 tracks, but I think
Hmm.
they're all gonna be bangers. They're all at least 20 minutes long.
I think we still got to record our interlude, right?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. We're on our
that's we
way.
got to get that done.
Kendrick's
Probably
in
after this
Ghana right
one.
now, so we gotta like catch on a
Hop
plane
on
real
that
quick.
flight. Yeah, man. But yeah, anyways, we are like, now that you know the real stuff, let's get into, like, the stuff everyone else knows, like,
Mm.
the general public stuff. So first of all, yeah, like we said, first album in 5 years, crazy, insane. Um, and everything that we've been knowing about it has been coming from his website, oklama.com, and I'll get into a little bit of like what that is. I Dissect Podcast just came out with like a TikTok about all that stuff, so I'll definitely
Yes,
discuss that a little bit. Really cool. Um, but yeah, would you mind pulling up oklama.com? It's like linked on that
already on
outline.
it, bro. Already
Oh,
on it.
perfect. Look at that, man. Look at that. As
Come
you can
on.
see, oklama.com.
No
Uh,
more a million folders. Just these are all the folders on the website. So
yeah, that's it. And let's go ahead and just click through them just so we can recap like a little timeline
sure.
of this whole rollout thing. So starting off with, yeah, New Thoughts. Obviously reference to us again, alluding to our interlude.
He's alluding to you guys. The new thoughts. We have the old thoughts. We have the our thoughts, the tater thoughts. So
Got a lot of thoughts.
a lot of
A lot of
thoughts.
thoughts. Um, but Yeah, what was interesting to me about this whole thing was he said the whole thing about love, loss, and grief
Hmm.
been disturbing my comfort zone. So I feel like we're really gonna get to see like the trials and tribulations that he's gone through the last couple of
Oh
years.
yeah, it's gonna be a very vulnerable uh album for sure. More vulnerable, I think, than Damn.
Definitely, and more like introspective in that, even though that album is like, the
All
ultimate
introspect.
like
Yeah,
self album.
yeah.
So yeah, really cool. We're saying all this, and it's gonna be like, yeah, Blueface feature.
Blueface baby, Babytron,
Blueface baby.
Jack Harlow interlude.
It's exactly what we were talking about. The Jack Harlow. Imagine this. Oh, the certified lover interlude. Oh,
Yo,
can't
yo.
wait. Can't wait. But yeah, man. So there you go. We got that. That was like our first kind of like announcement
Hmm.
thing about Kendrick, and we got that like a long time ago. I think it was around the time that Family Ties came out. So
Yeah,
that
very,
area.
very close after.
Yeah. I don't know which one, one is the next one, but we can just you pick which one, which folder we
We'll
go
go to
to.
this gray folder.
Great
Okay,
folder.
the
Oh,
official announcement.
I'm back.
I'm back
Facts. Really cool. That with the announcement of Mr. Morale, the Big Steppers.
for immediate release.
Yep, yep,
And
yep.
then we have this image, which brought
Now,
up a lot of interesting takes, I will say.
let's talk about some of those takes.
Okay.
So, the main word on the on the street is that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers will in fact be a double album, as you can see, or at least be
Please.
long enough for two
Two
discs.
discs.
Um, as you can see, Morale, Steppers. And yeah, people have discussed like what could be the difference between these two albums if it is a double album.
Mm. Mm.
Matt, what are some of the takes that you have been kind of
Mm.
subscribing to, some that you've been digging? Yeah.
Yeah, I would love for it to be a double album. I would love it for it to be a super long album as well. Not long full of filler, but like it's that much of an album that it would be able to be split into two discs.
Mhm.
And I think what possibly we could see is like the difference or like why it could be split in two discs. Because I think there's just going to be a massive tonal shift from one half of the album to the other, um, narratively, maybe even sonically. You know, I feel like Kendrick can often combine and shift between genre very easily when it comes to his sound. We've heard a lot of different sound from him, and I feel like I feel like it might lead us to a lot of interludes, which would give us more story building, and then
Mm.
have like a very definitive middle half, almost like what Nights is in Blonde, where that kind of separates the album perfectly in half, and then the rest of the album kind of shifts completely in sound and in intention and narrative. So that's why I would love it to be something like that, where it's kind of a double album. I mean, it's been 5 years. Like how much
Yeah.
music are you sitting on? Like, might as well just release it all if it all makes sense.
Mhm.
So that would be amazing. What really piqued my interest here was the book, though. Like the Miss Around the
Yeah.
Big Steppers novel. Like I don't even like did he write a book to go along with it? You know, like or is it just kind of like a set piece thing? Like what did you think of
But
that?
like the
Like
lyrics.
yeah,
Yeah, so I've heard a couple rumors about that, or theories about that, and really interesting. Of course, like trusting Kendrick to like make dudes read like the second book they've read like
number
out of their
one,
own choice.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Number two, Miss Around the Big Steppers.
There you go. Yeah, just like the only books we have
20
ever
year
read
difference.
from our free will.
Yeah.
So can't wait for that. No, but it's really cool. I think that's really interesting. I hope it's not just like a book of the lyrics. It seems like it's very dense though. So I'm
Yeah,
like, is it like an accompanying story? Is it a screenplay of
possibly.
like all like I'm thinking of Childish Gambino with Because of Internet,
Mm-hmm.
where because the album BTI was the soundtrack you play as you read the
The
screenplay,
screenplay, yeah.
which is really dope. Um, I also Sean C had a video where he talked about like, oh, double disc alert, all that stuff.
Right,
He
right.
was saying like, what if Mr. Morale is the album, and then Big
Hmm.
Steppers is like the background vocals and kind of like the instrumentals that you play as you read along
Oops.
to the book. which
Interesting. So it might just
could,
be just instrumentals on the second half.
yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't really, I would prefer for it to be like, yeah, a double album
Mm-hmm.
with, fully conceptualized, all that stuff. But I think this could also be an interesting thing to play
Mm-hmm.
with having it be like just like the tone setter for that
Right.
album,
And
for that
especially
book.
especially how the discs say one says morale and one says just steppers on it. You know, it's not just like
Yeah,
it's like this could be just whatever that the steppers means, and then this could be just morale. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they could allude to steppers being like features. You know, like that the second half is just all the guest appearances he has on the album. First half is just pure Kendrick. You know, he can easily carry an entire
yeah,
album on his own. Um, if that's what he wants to do with it, potentially, or this literally could be just a book that holds the DVDs in, and you can buy this on his merch site or something. Like you know, like you
yeah,
literally, you never know. But it's all intentional and it's all part of the whole rollout. Clearly, I mean, it's the only other thing on his website. Um,
yeah,
but we'll see. You know, I think the
yeah,
idea of a double disc album would make sense. It's something he hasn't really done before, in this fashion, and you know, I think an album with this much hype and this much writing on it, I'm like, yeah, give me a lot to sink my teeth into and mull over
yeah.
for the next 5 years. You know, like you know, so I feel
Hmm.
like hopefully it's that kind of double disc album and not just here are the instrumentals, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and also another thing that Shansi talked about a little bit was like double albums, and in this era of like, okay, we're gonna put as many songs on an album as we can to get the
Right.
streams, so you can find as, get as many chances as we can to have a song end up on a playlist,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like we saw it with Drake multiple times,
Certified Lover Boy,
Scorpion,
Scorpion, More Life.
Certified Lover Boy, More Life, all that stuff. It was
Mm-hmm.
just a bit, like you could tell these projects were way longer than they needed to be because, he wanted the streams. I feel like Kendrick, the 5 year gap, the fact that it is Kendrick Lamar, I think he's gonna have a lot to give us, and like give us more than just, you know, one or two filler tracks. Like it's all gonna be part of the story,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever this concept. That's gonna be really cool. I think, and also, I've read another theory that I've read is that like Mr. Morale is gonna be like the experimental thing,
Mm.
the conceptual high story, and then maybe the Mr. Morale ends with like, and like now like here's like what utopia looks like, or here's what like would happen if y'all followed me or something, and then Steppers is like just a really sick like posse cut album. You got like, since
Yo,
it's the last TD album,
like
it
Gangsta
could be
Grills. Yeah.
like Gangsta Grills. Yeah, imagine like we finally get that TDE collaboration tape that we've been
Ooh.
wanting forever. Like
You
think yeah,
know,
the
like with
Dreamville shit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cause like this is his last TDE album, you know, and
It's the
like
goodbye album to everything we know
right.
with Kendrick and
And
Top Dog. So what
Kendrick
better way to
basically is TDE. Yeah, like that is a good theory. I would love for that to be the what it means, you know, the second
yeah.
half of like, you know, I say guest appearances, but it would totally make sense if it was just like all of TDE on it. Yeah, cuz like this is kind
Think
of his send off.
Oh my God, imagine it's
Yeah.
SZA, it's Schoolboy Q, it's J Rock,
Isaiah.
Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah.
You got so many people on the Sir.
Yeah,
They
sir.
got a lot of artists on there. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of them, so that would be really cool. Like they made a big thing about it being his final album with TDE. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It
Potentially.
just it would just be too perfect. So we'll see. Mr. Around the Big Steppers, potentially a double album. And then last but not least, got that album cover, man. Oh wait.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
another
album
one.
cover.
But yeah, the album cover. Really
Very
cool.
interesting.
I love it. Again, we were talking about like he's not gonna give us just like a black album cover. He's not gonna give us just
No,
a
thank
bunch of
God.
emojis.
Yeah.
It's an album cover that looks like it's gonna,
Definitely has a story
stand the
to
test
it.
of time. Looks timeless. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
wondering what the walls, the dents in the wall are supposed to represent. So really cool.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I saw some very interesting interpretations of the album cover, especially with like the setting of it. I think people were drawing back to Section 80, kind of the same
Hmm.
vibe. You know, Section 80 is kind of that like just in the hood, just like living. It's very grounded. It's very much a peek into a reality of someone's life. Very similar to the Good Kid, Mad City album cover with the van. It's not a very flashy cover. It's nothing too braggadocious. But with this, it's kind of like Section 80, but elevated a little bit, where he has like this crown of thorns that honestly looks like it kind of looks like they're made of bullets or something. I don't know. Like I can't
Mm,
really zoom in on this website, but it looks like they're made of bullets or it's made of metal or something. He has a gun in his waist. And I think this could be. It's very much along the lines of like what he's been talking about how, the very first few lines of the Heart Part Five is like I come from a place where murder is minor. He's talking about just being on the street, that lifestyle and stuff like that.
mm,
Um, I have another anecdotal thing how that connects to what's happening with the YSL gang right now, but I'll leave that for in a second. But
mhm.
the whole interior of the apartment here, it's definitely a struggling family. They have like two kids, and stuff like that. So I think it's really going to be about like just the black experience and what and how that could translate when you have fame, when you kind of have the option to step out of that, and how that could be the downfall
Mm.
for a lot of artists. Looking at, I wouldn't say Kanye is very much on a downfall. That dude's a billionaire, but like in terms of the public eye, or if you look at Young Thug and Gunna, like I was just mentioning, like
Mm.
the whole YSL gang, like they are top high profile artists, but they still are from this, what we're seeing right here. And that just because you have money and all of a sudden you got billboard hits doesn't mean that you can leave that lifestyle behind. So I think it's going to
Yeah.
be a balance between those things is what I interpret this album cover to be. But yeah, I think this is definitely one of the more like striking and very very real album covers that Kendrick has put out in a long time. I mean, Damn had kind of like this extra large, this kind of eccentric quality to it with like the big letters. He's looking all drugged out in the beginning, in the
Mm.
front. To Pimp a Butterfly is kind of like that old school black and white image. Good Kid, Mad
Mhm.
City, is like the van, but never had an image quite like this for an album cover like Kendrick. So definitely striking. It definitely took me a moment where I'm like, is this the album cover? Or is this just like him right now? Like I couldn't tell, but it's definitely going to be the album cover.
Yeah.
But what did you think seeing this?
Yeah, what you were saying is like I love how it feels like we're just like capturing a moment, like a candid moment in this guy's life, and it
Mm-hmm.
just so happens to be like this, like Tony Soprano's, Godfather moment where he has his child, he has his
Right.
wife or his children and his wife, in front of him, and the gun behind him, like it's kind of like he's trying to like leave it behind, but it's always gonna be there,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I think that's just like a really cool image. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have too many thoughts on it, but other than like what you said,
Mm-hmm.
because like I just again we just kind of just got this today, I believe, and or yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that it's all gonna make sense within the context of the album, and obviously we haven't heard shit from it. Like literally, we just heard the
Right.
Heart Part Five and all that stuff. So I think I'll have more thoughts like maybe next stream when we kind of give our reactions to it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love what you
It's interesting. I'm just noticing this now is like the only person who's looking at us is like the child in the middle here.
is the child. Yeah.
I don't know. Perspective is such a huge thing in Kendrick's albums, and he often takes this perspective of a child, of himself as a child or of someone else's kid. So I feel like that could have an
Mm,
aspect to it, and maybe he takes the perspective of a child witnessing his father go through these things. You never know, but I feel like it's all very intentional and could lead to it all connects thematically to the album. So I feel like once I listen to
yeah.
it, this is gonna make so much more sense. I'm like, oh yeah, like this is it, like this is the world. So yeah, but I mean, I love it so far. It's a cool photo, but yeah.
Super excited. Again, it's what we were talking about, man. Just like a very quality, nice album cover that
Hmm.
gives us a lot without giving us anything really. Like we have no
Yes.
idea what it is. So love it. I really love it. And then yeah, so going back to the this website, Oklama, you don't have to go back to it physically, but we're just talking about what that could be. Dissect Podcast had a really great TikTok where they said that they may have uncovered what that means, you know. in
Ooh.
terms of so and what that could mean in the context of the album.
Mm-hmm.
So, throughout, that little facts that we showed you, that little thing document that said like I'm back. He signed it off Oklahoma. He signed the little new thoughts note as
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma.
I
And
have that
Yeah,
video
I think
here
we just
if
cracked
we
the.
want to view it. But if you
yeah,
also
let's
want
go
to
ahead and
talk about,
watch it.
okay,
It'll be better coming from him than
right,
I'll ever describe it.
right,
So I'd appreciate that if we just go ahead and
yeah,
watch
we'll
it. Yeah.
watch this. If you guys haven't seen, I mean, Shadow Dissect podcast, they're amazing. But
Love them, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, let's watch this as interpretation, and then we'll give our thoughts on it.
Mhm.
Code on Kendrick Lamar's new alias Oklahoma. Kendrick has been signing Oklahoma in all press for his upcoming album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Friend of Dissect Femi Olutade discovered that Oklahoma likely originates from Chata Anupa, the language of the Choctaw indigenous people. Okla, which you may recognize from Oklahoma, means people in Choctaw. The Choctaw definition for ma is a marker used when addressing someone, like my lord.
There's that deep
So
fake. Oh my
Oklahoma
God.
translates to my people. As Femi pointed out, within the Choctaw translations of the Bible, the phrase Oklahoma is often used when a poet or prophet is addressing God's people on God's behalf. Oklahoma meaning my people seems to fit exactly into the messaging of the Heart Part 5, which begins with a quote from Oklahoma, I am all of us. And Kendrick even specifically says my people just before he begins rapping.
All my people.
Okay, I think we just cracked the code on.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff.
You know what I was just, what vibes I was just getting just now was like the substitute teacher that comes in and is just like, here's the PowerPoint, like doesn't really know what the class is going on, but like just got the PowerPoint, so it's like, oh, I guess there's this video that we need to show you guys.
Right.
All right. Anyways, the notes from the lecture, here you go. Like we'd be the chillest like substitute teachers, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
So
On our class about Kendrick.
oh yeah.
But yeah, if you
really
guys haven't
cool, right?
if you guys haven't seen that video, let us know what your thoughts were. But I thought that was really interesting. Kendrick always brings back or ties back to some sort of like ancient scripture when it comes to like the motivation behind the things that he does. Whether it's literally the book of Deuteronomy throughout the album Damn, or this is kind of like this indigenous people's like traditional language where the word like okla or something like that or whatever he said, and combine two different indigenous people's words, or and then a word found in the Bible and combine them together into this Oklahoma persona, is really interesting, and it's kind of like interesting how he has these two different personas going on. There's Mr. Morale, and then there's Oklahoma, and so it's like, or Oklahoma. So I feel like we're gonna see both of them present on the album. Maybe one is the good guy, one is the villain, or something like that, or Oklahoma or Oklahoma is the voice of reason or something. Like, what do you think? Having these two different personas like that, or these aliases rather, that one the album is named after, and two Kendrick has been signing off on. Like, what do you think that means?
I think that could be really cool if it's like Oklahoma is the one like really like speaking what should be said, like what really like is, and Mr. Morale is just like this guy who says like what people want to hear, like, oh, you got to follow your virtues, your values, all that stuff. Meanwhile, Oklahoma is saying like the whole thing about, how we were just talking about with the whole Will Smith thing is like, oh, either you're, oh, he's the worst person on earth, he should be banned from all movies,
Right.
or no, he's defending his wife, all that. Meanwhile, like the real take that, or the real good take that Kendrick brought was, this doesn't have to be about societal thing and all that stuff.
It's not about what you
trauma
would
and all
have
that
done.
stuff.
It's like, look at this man, he needs help, is what
Yeah,
he's saying.
exactly. Yeah, so maybe that could be the struggle here, is like maybe the story is, we're talking about perspective, we're talking about Kendrick. He's able to rap from two different characters and really portray them, characterize them. Maybe we're gonna get this duel between the Mr. Around the Big Steppers and Oklahoma. It's gonna be a whole thing. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I feel like because Oklahoma comes from this kind of indigenous root, that whatever transformation that is going to happen in this album could be this spiritual awakening that we've been talking about, the saving humanity or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like,
I love that.
it could potentially be Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I see someone, Kitchen Boy says Mr. Morale is Kendrick. He's like the leader or something, and the Big Steppers are like his disciples. I think that could be true in a sense, but with a leader like Mr. Morale, I think it's very ironic that his name is Mr. Morale, whereas he could have ill intent, or maybe his morals are twisted, or he's leading his disciples down the wrong path. and
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
uh, and Oklahoma could come in, and kind of remind you, like, a lot of what the African American community likes to remember is like how much their ancestors were connected, and their indigenous roots, were connected way back. I mean, all of humanity started in Africa. We all came back. We came from
Yeah.
Africans. Scientifically, but kind of coming back to, like, when you go back to that animalistic root, where it's like, this is who we are at a core. All of the stuff that the Will Smith slap, the, like, the YSL
Like,
getting, like all the stuff that is right now and is always happening and is always in the front of our mind, and the news cycles that kind of get fed into our brain every day takes us further and further and further and further away from that, of like what our true purpose is here. And so I feel like Oklahoma could be reminding us and being like, I am an ancestor coming to you and saying, this is where the culture needs to go. Like, you need to
oh,
know what we come from, remind you, humble yourself. We are here for a purpose, and the purpose is not this, and I feel like
mm,
that could be a huge presence on the album. I think I equated in our TikTok or our YouTube channel, our YouTube video of Kendrick and, like, the Save Humanity video, how Everything Everywhere All at Once was the spiritual awakening of cinema. Like, things are pointing to this being the spiritual awakening just of rap
yes.
and of all of us. I feel like people are kind of on that new wavelength nowadays. Like, we saw that thematically through or cinematically rather, through that movie, and, like, this could be the same thing sonically through the album. That would be amazing, and something I would need to, like, fully be that, like, full reset on my brain thing that I was telling you about with
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. But yeah, what do you guys think of that theory? Super spitbally, super hot take, like literally scrounging like little bits and pieces and seeing if I can make something come together. But
Yeah.
even though we have literally nothing from Kendrick, the fact that what we have, I'm able to, like, pull together something like this, I think is just a testament to, like, just how potent his work is.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of that? Also in the comments, there's a question to you.
Love it, man, dude. I love the idea of, like, uh kind of the way that storyline became almost like a old fashioned versus, you know, everything that we've gone up to this point, kind of leading our like
Mm-hmm.
morals and values to this certain place, that, you know, now we're a little more forgiving in certain aspects, which is good. But the thing is,
Yes.
at the certain point, like, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. I like the idea of Kendrick kind of dealing with that, with how far we've gone as a society. So that could, you know, that gives a lot of interesting conversation. I really enjoyed that story, that where that story could go, if that is that. And like you said, like, we barely gotten anything. Like, we don't know
Mm-hmm.
shit about the sound. We don't know. We
Right.
haven't heard a single. You know, I think, yeah. Josh said, by the way, what's up, Josh? He says that if this album was a movie, the Hard Part 5 would be the literal trailer for it. Like, that
Yeah.
that really
Exactly.
feels like it. Yeah, I love
Exactly.
it. So, yeah, I don't know. Here we go. I'm just reading up some comments here.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Edwards, a very interesting take. Yeah, it honestly sounds awesome. Jasmine, can't believe it's finally time. I feel like we've been wanting this for so long. Yep. I feel like we as a society have just gotten so tired of the status quo, which is
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, what we're talking about with, you know, content just being, you know, driven to us left and right, whether it's
Yeah.
politics, news, you know, pop culture, movies, all that stuff. So I think Kendrick is going to remind us, like, you know, what we used to enjoy, like as a culture, was like, you know, good art, dancing, having a good time,
Right.
and really remind us that. So there's just so much to be excited for. I mean, we can go right into just like our thoughts and predictions, final thoughts and predictions
For sure. For the
for
album.
what Mr. Morale, the Big Steppers, could be about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
could be small, could be big, features, could be storyline stuff. Any more
Yeah.
thoughts you have? Yeah,
I
all that
think
stuff.
in terms of storyline, probably what I just said would be my prediction. I think that could be like what everything I've been picking up, like, and the context of it coming out now and everything that we've been seeing. I would love for that to be like the prediction. Obviously, I
Yeah.
could be way off. You never know. I will
Oh,
say we have had a good track record, so you know
you know,
I'm not too
we do.
far off.
Yeah, we do our due diligence. We're not
Yeah,
just coming here spitting BS.
right.
Also in the chat, let us know your final thoughts and predictions. There's like a bunch of you in here, so
Hmm.
say what's up in the chat and also give us any final takes and we'll read off, just kind of react to them. But yeah, sorry, continue. Yeah, like you're saying.
Um, I would for people. I guess if I want to like create like who would be the my dream to be on the track list. I love the idea of the two disc, second disc being that TDE tape where like it's just
Mm,
that send off for
mm.
all the other like TDE artists to come in and have their guest appearance. That would be amazing. Um, I would also love for people outside of TDE to be on there. I feel like Thundercat easily could be on this, and whether that's background vocals like sometimes he does or just instrumental, like Kendrick has worked with Thundercat numerous times. I would love to see. I would love to see Jay Electronica on this album because
Mm. Mhm.
whenever he comes in with the verse that like says something so real that it literally could have nothing to do with the actual content of the song. I mean, we saw that on Donda. I
Yeah.
forget the
Jesus Lord.
Jesus Lord. Yeah, it really didn't really have anything to do with what Kanye was talking about. But all of a sudden, he said like, the colonizers have pillaged my people for the last 1,000 years and like all this stuff about how like, he brings up some real shit. So I feel like that could be very relevant in this instance. And Jay Electronica always like is a really cool moment on an album. But other than that, sound wise, would love to see the Heart Part 5, that G Funk, like you said. It's kind of the G Funk, but heavy emphasis on the funk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like funk with a capital F, where it's just that groovy bass line. I think Kitchen Boy also brought up. He loved that bass line.
That
Um,
Marvin Gaye style
the
with the
Marvin
bongo
Gaye,
drums.
yeah,
Beautiful.
amazing. And then even the strings in the back, it's very orchestral. It's very cinematic. And so for the sound, I would love it to be this G funk cinematic experience. I think Little Sims had an incredible cinematic album that came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
That very felt very grand. It felt very worldly, and I feel like Kendrick is very good at making a world. And the last time he did something cinematic was Good Kid, Mad City, which I'll go back and I'll be like, I want to write a script to this. I wrote a script to one of the songs, just because it felt
Yeah.
so cinematic. So I hope it's something like that. But final thoughts will be we'll just have to see. Like we'll just have to see what it's like. Hopefully it comes out. I think someone said it could potentially be delayed in the comments just because there's like a listening party happening or something. So we'll be up. We'll be live tweeting. We'll be checking. I'll be
Yeah.
refreshing Spotify. Once it hits 9 o'clock, like we'll
Even though
be.
that thing's definitely crashing.
Oh yeah, the whole platform's down. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be kind of a mess, but we'll be on there trying to report when it drops. But yeah, those are my final thoughts for the album before it finally comes out.
Yeah, man. Follow us at Cheslito, at Matt Mags with two Z's on everything. We'll be definitely live tweeting. Yeah, man. Like you said, I love if the Heart Part 5 is anything indicative of what we're getting on this album, then I'm going to love it. I've been loving the live instrumentation wave, or basically just albums that are kind of meant to be played in public, like like Silk Sonic has kind of opened that door, left that door open.
Hmm.
And yeah, I hope that we get like he kind of did it a little bit or a lot with To Pimp a Butterfly, even had like a live performance kind of skit play out in the
Yeah,
middle of you or no, I. It was
with
in the middle of
I
I.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we kind of get that next step where like, oh shit, like, he's a prophet and we're singing live, everything's live. And it would kind of go well with like the whole Big Steppers thing. People have said that they compared it to like so and so and the Temptations, or
Mm.
those like old soul bands that Smokey Robinson and
Mm.
the what was it whoever made a Midnight Train to Georgia,
Right.
like that kind
Oh.
of band.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um that'd be so sick, and to have that be
Oof. What if
the
we get
the
a what if
Big
we get a little
Steppers.
what if we get a little Bootsy Collins on there? Like we get some some real legends on there.
Imagine we get Anderson .Paak on there.
Someone
Like,
said in
they've worked together.
the chat, I think if I Jamie Edwards, Anderson .Paak, Dr. Dre. Oof, Dr. Dre would be great.
Oh man, that would be dope because like Dr. Dre was obviously like helped make that West Coast funk
Right.
like the sound. So to him have that like blessing, that final blessing,
Yeah.
would be like just so beautiful, so full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Yeah, as for like what like we said, all the stuff that we said prior in terms of what we're looking for in terms of TDE tape, cool storyline, probably, definitely. I also think that, what do I think? I think I pretty much said all of my takes about like the predictions about this album already. So yeah, can't wait for that. Let's go ahead and read some of your guys' thoughts here. We got Curry says, I expect it to be personal album. I can see him using quite a few R&B and funk samples. Yeah, agree.
Yes, the R&B samples. Joshua says, which song was it that I wrote a script for on Good Kid, Mad City? It was
Art of Peer Pressure, right?
Yes, Art of Peer Pressure.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That is I've been sitting on the script for a long time. I wrote that. It was just one of those moments where I was just really inspired one day, and I kind of knocked it out in like a couple days, and it's like a full on, it's like 15 pages or something. But I think I wrote it from the perspective of, I kind of twisted it where, like, what the song's about. He kind of hits his first lick, it's like a home invasion kind of thing, and they get away. But I kind of twisted it where he doesn't get away, and we're coming into the main character's life, I guess Kendrick, like 10 years down the line after he served time for that lick for that home invasion that he talks about in the song, and then he kind of is recounting that at like one of those AA meeting type things where people try to like get back into society after being in prison, and he's recounting it, and so he's kind of telling the story backwards a little bit, and like we go back in history, and all of like the time we go back to like when they did the home invasion is like purely based from the song. So yeah, that's a script I've been sitting on. I want to, once I got like bread like that, or if I got the resources for it, I'll make it for sure. But yeah, that song is one of my favorite just storytelling tracks from Kendrick, for sure.
Yeah, I remember you sent me that script. I really love that script, man. Really cool. That's definitely good. When we go head over to Ghana right now and record this intro, maybe we'll bring that up.
Yeah, I'll pitch it to him.
Yeah. That'd be cool, actually. I think about that. Actually reminds me is that I remember I read a fun fact recently. It was like, there was actually supposed to be a Good Kid, Mad City like short film.
Yeah.
That comes out, and you would never guess the celebrity, or actually maybe you might. The celebrity that was linked with that project was the one and only Shia LaBeouf. He was going to help. I don't know in what capacity, but apparently Kendrick said in an interview that we got in a room together and like knocked out the story, and we would have like made it, but just shit didn't work out or whatever. And then
he probably would have like executive produced it or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
I was gonna say would Shia LaBeouf play Kendrick Lamar? He would commit. I'm sure.
Like blackface.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that far, but like he would like put on the persona maybe, but I don't know if
how far is he willing to go for this role.
I don't think it would have been received very well, but
yeah.
That's interesting.
It would have been cool, right? Like Shia strikes me as one of those guys who like really like gets. He would really get that vision and what that's going for. So that would have been really cool. And also, we've said a trillion times on this podcast, like that album is a short movie.
I love that. Yeah.
Played through our ears. So
I love it.
Yeah. Would love for that to happen. Cannot wait for Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers to see like what he's got going on.
Yes.
But yeah, as for right now, again, just keep leaving some comments in the chat, keep letting us know what's up as we get into just like let's take a stroll through memory lane and just look back on the last decade that since Kendrick's been rapping and kind of our favorite moments, because this is a very big moment for us Kendrick fans. So first of all, like I'm just curious, we did this a little bit with on the Don FM pre-album draft or pre-album party. We kind of discussed like how we got into the weekend. So I want to ask you, like, how did you get into Kendrick Lamar's music? Because for me, his
Mm.
Good Kid, Mad City was
Mm-hmm.
like a moment for me in terms of my music taste. So
Yes,
how about
yes,
for
yes,
you?
yes. Well, first off, I want to say shout out. I see the guys, you guys giving me love on that script idea. It will happen,
Well
I'm sure.
deserved.
Yeah, appreciate it. Maybe I will release the script just so y'all can see it. No harm in you guys just taking a read. But that's definitely one of a passion project I've been shelving for a while. But in terms of when I first listened to Kendrick, I think when I heard Mad City for the first time, that kind of changed everything. I was like, this. I didn't really grow up. Like I grew up the very, very tail end moment of the '90s, so I didn't really get that pure West Coast, um, craze where Snoop Dogg and like the Doghouse or whatever the fuck it was called, or
Mhm.
Doggy Style rather,
Doggy Style.
and then Dr. Dre's the
Yeah.
Chronic.
The Chronic,
I didn't live through that.
2001.
Or 2001 as well. I didn't really live through that. So I didn't, I would go back to it, and I would kind of get the West Coast vibe. But for some reason, Kendrick's take on the West Coast sound is what resonated. It was just pure West Coast Compton. Like, it was just raw. And with, Snoop Dogg, he's from Long Beach, and then Dr. Dre, I think he's also from like South Central and stuff like that. And so it gave this kind of elevated, like, they still were like flexing in that way, they were still talking about some real shit, but they were still had a little bit of chip on their shoulder and was like, oh, well, look at me, I'm like the best West Coast rapper, whatever. But with Good Kid, Mad City, I was like, this is like, it was an honest portrayal of the hood and growing up in Section 80 in Compton, from the perspective of Kendrick, played out in this like movie form. And then when I heard Good Kid, Mad City, or Mad City, the song, I was like,
Mhm.
holy shit, this is the hardest song I've ever heard in my life. Like I was like, from that point, I'm like, I need to memorize the lyrics. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I need to listen and listen and listen, because this song, it just resonates that deep to where I fantasize about the day I'm at a Kendrick concert and he's like, hey yo, who can rap this part? Like who can rap the Good Kid, Mad City? Because he does that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
give me the mic. That's something I have locked deep in my memory of me, like like reminiscing on the moment that will happen. But no,
Reminiscing on a
yeah,
moment that hasn't happened yet.
yeah, it will
Yeah.
happen. All right, it will happen.
Key part. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think at that point for me as well, my taste, I think, definitely changed after that. The rap, I didn't grow up with rap and hip hop at all. My parents were very much in the classic rock era of the 80s is what they were. A lot of 80s music, Duran Duran, The Police, U2, The Who. Even going back, my dad is a fucking huge Elvis fan. I know Curry's an Elvis fan. And so I was like deep into that. But then I heard Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City for the first time, and this was after I just discovered acid rap, which I think is the first rap album I ever listened to, if I think about it.
Wow.
I think, and then I listened to Because the Internet, and then from there I was like, okay, I like these rap artists, and then Kendrick came around, and I was like, oh shit, this is some real shit. Like, this is like, because the Internet was very conceptual, acid rap was like Chance being silly, goofy, a little channel from the '79 type thing. But Good Kid, Mad City was like the first look into the culture of like hip hop, and so I was like, oh shit.
Mhm.
So I think that was the turning point for me with Kendrick, was that song and that album for sure.
Wow, that's so great, man. That's funny because like I really feel like you and I have had very like similar journeys, not just to Kendrick, but to music as a whole. I
Uh-huh.
think that's really funny that like I'm gonna get really existential for just like a really quick second. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
But like for real, like out of like because we just got done watching like Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'm like, damn, man, like we really happened to go through like a similar musical journey, and then for some reason fate kind of lined us up to
Mm-hmm.
I remember how you came up to me was because of music, I think, because you're like yo, you're Filipino, right? I'm
Oh
Filipino
yeah.
too. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hang out because we went to a predominantly white high school.
Hmm.
And we were like, oh shoot, like you're listening to that album, I love that. So we were just like bonding right away from music, and
Immediately,
it
yeah.
kind of like it's kind of like a full circle moment that, and then our first real time like really hanging out was going to that concert, the weekend concert together. So
Yeah.
like it's just kind of crazy that like all these things like lined up and like kind of intertwined us together. I don't know, man.
Hmm.
It's really
To this
dope. Like,
moment right now, with
yeah,
Kendrick, like we've had our moments with Kendrick too, like,
yeah.
like with just bonding over the songs at parties and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
so I definitely think it's
Oh man, let
Kendrick
me.
is kind of like an integral part to just our relationship.
I was gonna retell some of those stories,
Yeah.
but no, man, really cool. I really feel like if we're talking about this is gonna get really really like, do you believe in like the concept of like a soulmate or whatever?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, that
I definitely do.
I
Yeah.
like the idea that like soulmate doesn't necessarily you don't necessarily need one soulmate. Like
Mm.
like
Yeah.
for example, like you can have like your friend soulmate, like someone that you
Yeah.
were destined to meet, and you guys bond over these things, and you guys were meant to like kind of go through life together,
Yeah.
even as friends. And like I feel like you and I are kind of like on that same, like I would
Hmm.
categorize our relationship as that. So I don't know, really cool. And again, like Kendrick is a big part of that. So I guess like on this one, I just want to look back and be like, damn, like, you know,
Yeah, I think that's why
very big part of our
yeah,
lives.
I think that's why we feel so like gung ho about this album, because it's like it just means more potential for us to kind of like geek over some shit together, and that's kind of like the things that we love to
Mm,
do.
yeah.
And so yeah, it's definitely personal. And Kendrick has definitely had a huge, I would say, Weekend up there, and then right next, or maybe even on the same line,
One A,
Kendrick.
one B.
Yeah, one A,
Yeah.
one B. Kendrick has been up there. Like if we weren't the Weekend podcast, we would be the Kendrick podcast. So
If Kendrick dropped more frequently too, we
yeah.
would
And
be
if
in
Kendrick
shambles.
reposted our video that like damn part one on his Instagram, then yes.
I know exactly, yeah. And then God forbid. Also, I'd say one C, Frank Ocean. One
Yes. Yeah.
one
Yeah.
A,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
B,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then like just cause Frank hasn't dropped in forever ever.
He can move to number
Frank
two. All
Ocean.
right. He can move to
All
number
right,
two.
yeah, we can move him down, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Once he starts dropping, though, who knows? Who knows?
We
But
just gotta bully him as much as possible until he drops.
exactly, yeah, we already dropped the cancel Frank Ocean video,
I
so
know. Yeah. That made some
I,
waves. All right. He finally made an appearance after
yeah,
that.
yeah, he's like, man, these boys at Our Thoughts podcast, like, let me get some
Right.
public appearances up. But yeah, no, so about like how did I get into Kendrick Lamar's music? I said that it was a big moment for me, Good Kid, Mad City, because it was a big moment to me because it was very similar to yours. So I like that you told your story first, so I don't have to retread,
Mm.
because my story is a lot more boring than yours and a lot less fleshed out. Basically, I used to play basketball, and we just play music like out loud while we hoop or whatever. And I remember first time hearing like Swimming Pools. I remember my first
Yeah.
time hearing Mad City. I
Yeah.
remember like those songs were like literally like part of hoop culture and all that stuff. So hearing,
True.
uh, that's how I got familiar with that. And then you know I just remember like my first time really like it might have been, yeah, the first album that I genuinely listened to and tried to understand,
Mm.
because I'll be honest, like my first time listening to Kendrick, I was like, sounds good, but like his voice is a little like annoying, like a
Yeah.
little nasally,
Yeah,
right? I think we
I
all,
felt the same about Chance. I was
mhm.
like, what is this? And the
Yeah,
same about Kendrick. Yeah.
yeah, I really like took the time to understand it. Something that I feel like, uh, I was just talking about it with my good buddy on our good buddy on Instagram. I'll find his name,
Mm.
but he was just talking about how like the kind of the concept of going back to albums isn't really a thing anymore, just because there's so many albums to listen to. Like
Yeah.
it's that first listen, you listen back, and if it doesn't resonate with you, you're like, it was mid, and then you
Right.
go on to the next one.
Right.
Whereas like with Mad City, I was able to kind of like, Noah Lyons, thank you by the way,
Mm.
uh,
Oh,
for
I
hitting us
recognize
up.
the name.
Yeah, super dope. Go check out his Instagram page. We were talking about like, yeah, like that concept. That's why we like I personally like vinyl so much, is because
Yeah.
it gives me that chance to really, or it gives me an excuse to keep listening back to it and keep giving it chances.
Right.
So Good Kid, Mad City was that album for me that really kind of taught me that the importance of that, or not the importance of it, but just gave me that experience. Um, like I remember, man, like and just like I remember the impact it had. Like I remember just in middle school, just walking to sharpen my pencil or something, and then I heard like my friend Gabe, he went like, oh, he was doing the interlude between Poetic Justice and the next song, the
Oh.
if you go where I'm from, you know where I'm from,
Where your mama stay?
where
Where your
mama
daddy stay?
and I remember being like people are listening to this
Yeah.
album too? Like, yo, like man,
That's
like
funny.
so that was my first, and that might have been the first like interlude that I like remember in my head. It was like, oh, this is like an artistic
Good Kid, Mad
interlude.
City has the only interludes I will actually listen to. Like something
Yeah, the
about it.
Domino's
The
skits.
Domino's voicemails,
Ah,
so
love
funny,
them.
so good.
Man. Oh yeah, man. So evidently, Good Kid, Mad City and Kendrick Lamar as a whole just kind of have are ingrained in our DNA at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
So yeah, there you go. And just like some fun Kendrick stories, man. First of all, very recently, this past summer, I think, I remember Matt was fucking. All the stories start with Matt being drunk.
Oh, great.
So there you go, as he is now. I don't know if you're drunk, but
I'm feeling. I've been sipping on this soju. I didn't even tell you what I was sipping on.
promethazine.
The lean. I've been sitting on the lean.
Soju.
Yeah.
There you go.
The apple flavor. This is the best. Actually, maybe strawberry is the best.
Strawberry is pretty good, but I feel like apple is a little lighter. I feel
Apple's
like
good.
strawberry stuff can be a little
Right.
syrupy. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me.
Drink responsibly.
Drinks
with this
responsibly,
one.
end of age. Yeah. Oh, soju sneaks up on you. It's like one of those where
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're drinking and then
It's
like
easy.
you're like keep going, and then an hour later you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's basically just wine. it's like wait, what is the alcohol content? Wow, it's 12% in here.
I know, but like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, no. Soju is one of those, man. I love a good soju party. Like, have you been to, that's a very a niche conversation. I was gonna ask you if you've had like the soju like pouch things from Shibuya,
No.
like in
the pouch?
Veranda.
No.
I gotta take you there when you get to
Okay.
the bay.
Okay.
They have a pouch
go.
of like a big ass pouch of soju type things, and it's like the restaurant is like you each get like a hot pot, and you get to put whatever you want in there, like whatever broth.
Please, bro. I've never been to the hot pot places, so I need to go. We'll do it.
Oh my god, everyone gets their own individual thing, so it's like you literally make whatever you want. It's an all you can eat kind of bar. You can get as many meats, as many eggs, noodles, different kinds of noodles, man. I got you. Next time, man. Next time.
Goddamn. All right. I'll hit you up on that.
So for sure, but yeah, I forget what we were
what was the
talking
story
about
that you were
initially.
gonna what was the story that you were gonna say?
Oh, right, that was it. So very recently, Matt came up to the bay, and man, speaking of Matt rapping every single bar, I remember we were drunk, had a nice night out, and then one of our high school friends' brother picked us up, and you're like, yo, play I think it was Money Trees. Yeah, it was Money Trees. Play Money Trees or something like that. And this man looks me in the eye and proceeds to rap every single bar in that song, like every single lyric from the verse, and then it goes into like Mad City, and then he raps every single part of that song. And I'm like, damn, like this dude. I feel like I'm a Kendrick fan. This dude like knows every single word. So from that point on, I strive to like music as much as Matt.
The best part is I don't remember doing that at all. Like I don't recall rap. Yeah, I don't recall rapping to you or even when we were in that car. I remember the Taco Bell, and then that's it.
Oh, Taco Bell hit different, man. That Taco Bell hit crazy. That chalupa.
I mean, y'all know where. I mean, if you were there for our fast food rank episode, you know our thoughts on Taco Bell, but that shit hit for sure.
Oh man, yeah. So definitely really great night. And the one that I told on the Damn Part 1, Damn Part 2, some very interesting developments regarding that. So we'll just kind of leave that for now.
It exists. It
Uh
exists. It does exist.
it it exists. There is a file out there has us talking
If you
about
go
Damn
to,
Part 2.
it will be the newest file on oklahoma.com.
Yeah.
It's a subfolder in the new thoughts. There's the little folder at the tiny edge of the screen that says our thoughts,
Yeah,
and
but
in that folder, you'll find damn part two.
But the thing is, you have to be looking at it through a Chromebook, which no one has.
Okay.
And
Through an Android tablet.
oh yeah, no, through an LG Shine, you know, those old like
Yeah.
slide phones,
the
or BlackBerry.
the Samsung Fold, right? You gotta
Yeah,
look.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So it's on there. It's on
It's
there.
on
You can
there.
watch it right now, but you know, good luck trying to get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember. So he came up to visit me. He came down to visit me in Santa Barbara, and it was really great. We had a night out again, and
That was a crazy, bro. Santa Barbara they do not fuck around over there.
yeah,
They do
it's
not
all
fuck around.
business. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I lived on at Goleta, Isla Vista, which is literally like
The
right by the
street.
waters. Yeah, and everyone literally goes to this one street, DP Del Playa,
They'll
and
play.
it's literally the street that is the border between like the beach and like literally some people's backyards is like a view of
Yeah.
the waters and the Pacific Ocean and all that stuff. So we what people do every weekend night is we just walk up and down those streets and see like which house is throwing a party. Oh, do they allow people to walk in? Cool. All right,
Just
great.
crash it. Yeah.
Yeah. So during the summer, I was roommates with DJ. He's a football player, so he had like the plug and all that stuff. And he invited us out to this party. And we were like, yo, let's go. And they play Humble. Again, we're drunk. Oh wait, one thing I remember is like, do you remember the dudes that we were with for that night?
I think I remember DJ being there, but that's it.
They're like these like drunk white dudes that were ranting about like society and like capitalism or some
Really?
shit, and like they
Oh
were going crazy.
man.
I just remember you and I looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
I'm like, we're like, yo, what are you like? I'm not comprehending
yeah.
anything that anyone is saying.
It was just like I'm just drinking this Coors Light right now. That's all I'm doing right now. So we did that, and then we went out, like I said, and then they played Humble at the party.
Yes.
And I just remember you looking at me. Every story and it starts with you being drunk and with you looking at me in the eye and
Trying to tell you something.
and proceeding to say, I'm about to rap every single bar of this. And sure enough, we screamed every single lyric from Humble. To like the people next to us were all like, the fuck is this? These like two Filipino
Screaming.
kids
Screaming.
like screaming Humble, like they know every word. So now that shit is like some of those like my one of my core memories right there. Those two
Yeah.
memories, and Kendrick happens to be a part of it. So no,
Shout out Kendrick.
we're
Hopefully
just reminiscing.
there will be another song like that on this album. I need a new song to scream at the from Kendrick to scream at the top of my
Oh, yeah.
lungs.
Yeah, that's the thing is I feel like Damn, I feel like he said that too. Like Damn was like supposed to be him being like commercial.
Hmm.
So I wonder if Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, like he's gonna find that balance. You know, like we said, like he kind of learned something from each album.
Yeah.
So I hope that the lesson from Damn, of course, is like the story reason, or the story like kind of lesson, but also like the lesson of like how do you balance that? Because everyone's sick of
Yeah.
Humble now, so you
Right.
need a new song to be
Yeah.
sick of. So also, what's up, Arthur Morgan? Thanks for joining us on the Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and Big Steppers pre-album. It's a lot of words. Pre-album party stream.
I know.
Um,
We got the Miss and Morale. That's what I'm calling the album. It's
Yeah,
too many words.
the Kendrick album.
The new Kendrick album.
So new Kendrick album, yeah. So let's continue our stroll down memory lane and just kind of discuss some of our favorite Kendrick moments. We have a couple categories here, and feel free to answer along with us. and then we'll get into the Kendrick draft, which will be fun. But yeah, man, let's start off with just like what are some of your standout verses from Kendrick as a whole, like any that you can think of off the bat that are just like, yo, like,
Versus. Um,
mm-hmm,
I mean, I think in terms of like rapidy rap verses, I think
mm,
his last verse on Duckworth. I mean that whole song is an incredible story journey that he walks us through. But the very last verse where he says, what was it? If Anthony killed Ducky, then Top Dog would be serving life,
top
and
of doing life,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I would have something about his dad, and then I would have been killed in a gunfight. I'm butchering the line, but it's like this super hard, like, um, reimagining of if this would have happened, or if the story of Duckworth went down in this way, I would not be
Mm.
here, and I would probably end up dead in the street. Incredible line, incredible song, but that line just sticks and bounces around my head all the time. Where I'm like, that is so crazy. Like,
Mhm.
if you thought the one of the biggest rapper, he says, like, if you thought the biggest rapper came from coincidence, it's this is really how it happened, and it was because his dad spared the life or something of or Ducky, which is his dad, spared Anthony, which is Top Dog, his life when he
Mhm.
or no, other way around. Anthony spared Top Dog's
Mhm.
life when he robbed the KFC. That's crazy. And if he didn't do that, Kendrick wouldn't have even existed if he killed his father. So like it's just crazy, crazy ass verse. Another verse I love, probably the entire song of Blacker the Berry.
Mm.
I think is one of my favorite hard hitting tracks from Kendrick Lamar. Probably his most vulgar, his most like stripped back. The cadence in his voice too. He's like so aggressive in it. He's like growling into the mic, just like painting this gruesome picture and just being super explicit and, but for a reason, being because it's what he's talking about is like the honest truth about you know the black community and how like it's he calls himself a hypocrite because of like all this black on black crime, and then he can step out of it because he's like found this fame, and it's him dealing with that.
Mm.
Incredible verse on there. I think one of my other favorite verses on Backseat Freestyle um, is let me make sure I say it right. I think you know what I'm talking about though.
What the It's go time. Dum,
Oh yeah,
dum, dum,
yeah, yeah.
dum, 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 dum,
But
dum.
I think
Biatch.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. But I think my favorite is the my dick is big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a
Crazy
classic.
line. One of my favorites. One of my favorite songs too. I think
Uh,
I think those three: Duckworth, uh, Black of the Berry, Backseat Freestyle. My favorite like rapidy rap songs from Kendrick.
Ooh, I like that. I like that question better. Is like, what are some standout rapping, like where the whole point of it is him rapping. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. Those are a good big three. I like hey, Alden Augusto just
Thank you.
subscribe. Thank you. Um,
If you're here, go ahead and comment. Now that you're subscribed, you can come into the chat. I see people
yeah.
also in the chat. Someone says, "Control their favorite. Pray the holy water don't go dry." That is a great line. I think that's from "Sing About
Mm,
Me." I'm down to thirst. Now I'm worth it. Do I put enough work in? Let
mm,
me know what that's from. I know what you're talking about, but
I'm worth it. I think it's also Sing About Me,
"Sing
right?
About
Yeah.
Me." "Sing About Me" is incredible.
Yeah. Oh my God, that song is definitely one of the most emotionally impacting. Like I don't if just even without context, if you hear that moment where he says, I'm never gonna fade away, I'm
I'm
never
never
fade
gonna fade
away,
away. I'm
and
never
as he
fade
fades
away.
away
Yeah,
that just leaves such a lasting like
yeah,
emotional. It just moves you to a point.
yeah. Or the gunshots in that song too.
If I die before your album drops,
Boom, crazy.
so just irreverent, so real. Really paints that picture, like you said. Yeah, another if we're talking rapidy rap, I love rigor mortis. It's just like him
Ooh.
exercising, this flow, that fast, kind of.
That's his like rap god, I think.
That's his rap god, yeah.
Yeah.
Where definitely where he kind of just like gets a flow. It kind of reminds me of like Marcy Me
Mm.
off 444, where it's like where Jay-Z just picks a flow and just decides to run with it for the whole song
For
and be
the
like,
yeah,
okay, let me
yeah.
see it, just like how many bars I can get off. Tony Lee just subscribed.
Shout
Thank you
out. Thanks for
again.
the subs, y'all. This is like the
Hey,
most on-stream subs we've had.
yeah, now that you're subbed, go ahead and hit us up in the
Leave a
chat.
comment.
Yeah, let us know what are some of your favorite rapping Kendrick songs. I also think, yeah, like you said, Black of the Berry, Untitled Volume, Untitled 2. I don't
Two.
know. You probably won't remember any of them,
I
but
know I know Untitled 1, 4, and 8. I'm trying to remember 2.
yeah, if you want, you can like listen to it on Spotify while I
Yeah.
talk about it for a second. It's this crazy flow, like about like three-quarters of the way in, it just blows your mind. Like that song is like my favorite kind of flow that he's ever done, super aggressive. And then yeah, backseat freestyle, like you said. I also really,
Mm.
oh, this way, yeah, there you go. I
I played
also
it for a
think
second.
Mortal Man.
Ooh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, hopefully that doesn't hit us with the copyright for that 1 second. But if we're talking rapping, Mortal Man, if you think about just like how well that song's aged, like that's one of those songs that I think of when people say like, we don't need y'all keep asking about Kendrick and his thoughts about today's world. Like
Hmm.
he's been talking about this stuff like in his previous album. So just go back and listen to that. Because like think about, when shit hits the fan, are you still a fan?
Right.
That aged so well with like, if when things start going crazy, are you still going to support me just because,
Yeah.
in spite of this this thing that people are hooked on? Think of like cancel culture, and that song was made to Pimp a Butterfly 2015.
Yeah.
So really like before cancel culture like
Was a
really
thing.
took off. Yeah. So Mortal Man, really cool. And then my last song I'll bring up for rapping, is Fear. Like that
Ooh,
song
yeah.
is incredible. The way that he plays with perspective of himself aging up throughout the song. It's actually kind
Yeah.
of like the inspiration for I was telling you, my Asian American children's literature class. I had a project
Hmm.
where I had to write about or I had to make my own kids book. And I can get it. Oh, I actually don't know where I put it, but
Oh, yeah. Did you actually like make a physical book?
I had to. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Give me a second. Let me.
okay. Show and
It's
tell.
literally known like two places, and so I'll find it real quick.
Okay, let's do some show and tell. Let me read some comments though. I think y'all are getting some. Someone said I personally love Mortal Man. Definitely love my favorite Kendrick song ever. Yes, agree with Cesco. How much a dollar costs is dope as fuck too. Um, that that song is like a Bible verse. He like gives like $1 to like a homeless man or something in that song. Really really cool. You dope. Sing about me. Yeah, songs I feel most impactful. All right, all
Love it.
right.
Let's see, yeah, but yeah. Arthur Morgan asked what time does the album drop at Pacific Standard Time? Well, typically albums drop at 9 p.m., so that's what we're kind of rolling with. So
Hopefully.
so that goes. But yeah, so I don't know how this is gonna look on cam, but also try to look past the drawing deficiencies. Um, but basically, I'm kind of glitching out of mine. Is everything good?
Yeah, you're back. Don took you for a second, but I think you're back. I think so.
Man, even past the dawn dropping, I'm still getting taken up in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. So Fear, it's like how the different verses, as each verse kind of represents him aging up 10 years,
Mhm.
and like kind of reassessing what are his fears. I have this book that I wrote, Oro's Mask, and
Ooh.
basically like we kind of follow him. We follow this kid Aurelio named Oro, and we kind of see like each page supposed to be like, if you actually made it into a book, each page is kind of like a different year.
Oh.
And in this book, like every kid kind of like develops this mask that's like their representative of their identity. So like as you see here, like it's kind of bright, colorful Filipino colors because he's a Asian
Nice.
boy. And then as you go on here, he kind of, sorry, let me just find the page. Yeah, and this stream just became a whole nother thing, but I like it. I like it. He kind of develops this other mask as like time goes on, like his family, he has to move, he feels like an outcast, his parents get divorced,
Mm,
and he kind of develops like this kind of like sadder mask and all that stuff. So it's, yeah, so if you're actually make it into book, each page kind of takes him to a different year,
mm,
and you see like what it is he's struggling with, like so he goes from being this kid who barely has a mask to now he's starting to develop it. And so yeah, no, that's kind of what that is. um so yeah, a Kendrick song, another
very cool.
thing that he inspired. Talking about your script, my kid's book.
Yeah,
So really
that's
cool.
dope.
I don't know.
I
Maybe I'll
love
maybe
that.
I'll post it on something. If you guys are curious about that, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, maybe I did a terrible job of explaining it. So
No, no, it's
let's
cool.
let's go into
I
favorite
like
hype Kendrick songs.
sure, but I will say
Oh, sorry.
I'll give you the props. I feel like I like the idea of the mask and like I love the idea of just the perspective of over the years, that kind of coming of age thing and having a coming of age children's book. I think I've never seen that before, which is pretty cool because it's always about, one kid learning a lesson, but I love how you kind of follow him throughout the years, just like the song, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, I totally. I appreciate that, man. I made it all in one week, but it was definitely like maybe the funnest project I've ever had. Just like making a story, trying to make a story. I tried to make it like that Pixar style where
Mm,
like kids are able to enjoy it, but also adults kind of pick up on like
yeah.
on any undertones. Like there's definitely like some depression in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't necessarily know that like the kid's parents are divorced, but you learn like, oh, we had to move, and the
Mm-hmm.
dad isn't around for the rest of the book. Um, After that point, like there's just like little things that I think adults can kind of pick up on and be like, oh, that's why he feels that way. So yeah, man, appreciate it. And yeah, no, I'll definitely try to find some way to if you guys like see. I'm not publishing it or anything. Like it's not something I'm but it's pretty fun project.
Dope.
So yeah, man. What? So yeah, getting back to Kendrick, what were some of your favorite hype Kendrick songs?
Hype tracks. I mean, Good Kid, Mad City up there number one. Um, I do like Humble, even though it is very much overplayed nowadays.
Oh yeah,
Um, I still will bump Humble. I mean, it's. I know it's been overplayed, the radio, whatever, blah blah blah. But I still think it's timeless, like the instrumental and then the lyrics and all that. Like, I love that song. Um, I love that song as well. I like both versions where it's like the album version where it's like he's like kind of controlling the crowd and stuff like that. And then
yeah.
I do love just the radio play version too. Just to get straight to the that guitar riff is super fun.
Mhm.
Um, Another hype Kendrick track. All right, that one is always a banger.
Mhm.
Of a Good Kid, Mad City. Now or Never. I don't know how hype that is, but it's just like it makes me hype. It's kind of just it
Yeah,
feels like I'm
yeah.
going to church on like a beautiful Sunday morning is what it feels like.
Getting hype at
Um,
church on a Sunday morning.
yeah, it's a different type of hype.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's more it's a
A
godly
spiritual hype.
it's a godly hype,
Yeah,
which I love. Um, Let me see. Yeah, those are kind of like a few I can name off the top of my head.
yeah. King's Dead. If we're talking about from
Ooh.
the Black Panther soundtrack,
Okay. Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
another amazing one. I saw on Twitter a clip of that apparently Kendrick wrote J Rock's verse.
Yes.
It ain't like that little bitch.
He did that
It
for
ain't
a
like
lot of
that.
people,
A lot of people.
all over the Black Panther album, but also on other people's albums.
Keem very
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. There's like a version of the song "16" done by Kendrick Lamar on Baby Keem's album, which is really good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that. But no, J Rock. With what was the song called?
King's Dead
King's
Future.
Dead. Yes, dope song.
Yeah. Amazing song. If we're talking like another kind of funk song he has on To Pimp a Butterfly, King Kunta
Oh
is
yeah,
really hype. I maybe someone mentioned it already in the chat. Yeah, Noah Lyons, there you go.
banger.
Um, Yeah. Also, one of my guilty pleasures, DNA, of course, really, really great
Yes, DNA.
record. Third verse goes hype. That after that breakdown, um, a guilty pleasure record I had for that gets me hype. I've heard it a couple times. Uh, is the Humble Skrillex remix. Do you remember that?
Yo, I don't think I've ever heard that. What?
You've never heard the Humble Skrillex remix, yeah?
Maybe like once when it came out. I don't remember it at all.
Man, because I heard that in the context in terms of like at a I hate that I have to say this, but I went to a rave once because my middle school friends they really into that EDM shit, like rave stuff, and they're like, "Yo, you gotta come out with it." So I'm like, "Okay, sure, whatever. I'll try it out." Like it's not really my scene, in my opinion. No disrespect to it, but it sounds like
Any rave bays in the chat?
2 or 3 Transformers getting down to it. So that's what it typically. Sorry, what was that?
Oh God, he's getting lost to the dawn,
Hold up.
y'all.
There you go.
Oh, okay, we're back. Ooh,
We're back.
bro.
What was it?
All I heard was 2 Transformers having sex.
And that's what I end off on.
And then you're like, wait, what'd you say? I'm like, what did you say?
Nah, sounds like you heard me loud and clear, man.
All right, yeah,
So-
I guess that was it.
But no, I just remember being at that rave and then like not really enjoying much, but just like taking in the vibes. And then all of a sudden, Humble Skrillex remix came out, and I was like, you know what? Let me channel my inner Matt here. Let me rap. Let me rap every single part of this song. That shit goes off.
Wow. Okay.
That shit goes off.
Okay.
So go check it out if you like. Yeah, man. Mad City, all right. I think you had already mentioned.
Mhm.
So yeah, a lot of really cool moments there. Now let's get into let's look in the chat real quick. Yo,
We keep getting spammed.
I know.
Thank you,
but-
Curry, for moderating this chat. I didn't
know.
think you would really have to be working this hard.
You know, big stream. Got a lot of people coming in, a lot of spammers. There's gonna be some people that come in and spam, but doing
All
your
good.
thing.
Someone
Let's
said
see.
Lust, which is interesting.
Lust.
That's Compton. Yeah. I love that.
Great
I love
record.
I think there's multiple versions of that song. Or no, it's a bonus track, right? Off of Good Kid, Mad City.
I think it's the very last like real record on
Okay,
that song, and
okay.
then it's a bonus track. So.
Got it. Yeah, that song is dope. I also, I like. It's not really a hype song. Never mind.
Go ahead and.
I do.
go
I
ahead
would
and-
say I like the song "Black Boy Fly." I think that's a bonus track. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think it is a bonus track.
yeah,
Yeah.
that song is cool. Has an interesting vibe to it. Very psychedelic, I think, is what's cool about it. Kind of gave us a taste into what "To Pimp a Butterfly" was gonna sound like. Let's see.
I like all of his black hippie stuff.
Yeah.
Love all that. Yeah.
Yeah, these messages are crazy,
Yeah. Let's
bro.
see. Any last. I know. This is like our first time really dealing with that.
Nobody
I'm
clicked the
friendly
link
with
in this
any of
comment,
during,
bro.
Like our. I know. Who knows
Yeah.
what you're about to see, man?
I know you're about to get hacked. But
Yeah, that's kind of. They want everyone, even you. Are you telling me there's single and hot moms in my area?
Right. Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. Ronald, or who said that? Arthur. Ronald Reagan era is fire. I
Yes.
think the best song off Section 80, in my opinion. That song goes hard, and I think that song like stands the test of time up against his other hype tracks, which is dope. But yeah, Ronald Reagan era, dope ass song. Oh God. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. It's been. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is being so weird, but yeah, no, I heard you. You're talking
Okay,
about
okay.
The best song off Section 80.
Yes, Ronald Reagan era. Damn, bro, that Dawn is really. You're getting hacked, bro.
Yes.
You clicked on the naked girls link. I think that's what happened.
I know. I think that's what happened, man. I couldn't resist. Let's get into let's get into this next thing that we want to talk about. Best. Mm, I mean, we kind of talked about this, but any last couple moments where he really told the story, really left emotionally impacted you? Any songs that took you there? Like I know for me, obviously "Sing About Me, Dying of Thirst," you, really good. You got Keisha's song. I think is a really good storytelling record.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
off Section 80. That's another good one. I'm trying to think. What's the other one? I mean, Duckworth. Again, you mentioned earlier that
Hmm.
story of that. I'm surprised it took so long for him to tell.
Hmm.
That story of how he became Kendrick Lamar all goes
Right.
down to this moment, and he held on to that story for an album that's all about the self and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, really love that moment. Um, yeah. Is there anything else that Fear again, like I said.
I think
Any other
also,
storytelling records?
also, I don't know if it's really storytelling. It's more like the abstract. It's like more of an abstract storytelling version, like style on Element. I think is one of my favorite
Oh yeah.
Kendrick songs. Also Kendrick music videos for sure.
Oh yeah.
But that song is really dope. I think it really like it kind of tells this story about like there's like he reminisces on his past a lot, or like as a child a lot in Damn, and how he like he lost his innocence at a very young age just because of seeing all the gang violence and growing up in that world. And Element kind of like brings that to a new forefront where it's he kind of is like almost bragging about it, but he is
Mm-hmm.
self-aware that the
Mm-hmm.
things that he's bragging about are very detrimental, and could have been more detrimental to other people who were not as lucky as him to find fame and fortune and stuff like that. But kind of coming from this perspective of a naive kid, where he's like, oh, if I'm gonna slap a pussy ass N word, I'm gonna make it look sexy. Like that line I think
Mm-hmm.
is very indicative of like the environment that he was in, telling that story through the eyes of someone who's like has that chip on his shoulder and is a product of his environment, coming through like the whole idea of taking like you can't take me out my element, like no
Yeah.
matter how famous I get, I'll still be the same kind of person. I think is a great. It was very artfully done. I love like this mosaic of imagery they provoke through the music videos and how it couples with the song as well. So that song, one of my favorites, more like abstract and I guess deconstructed version of storytelling that he kind of explored throughout Damn or throughout that project. So yeah, Element
Yeah.
definitely up there.
Oh yeah. That actually takes us into a really good discussion. Is also music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Element definitely being one of the best ones. The Damn era really was really amazing. I remember another story between me and Matt. The Humble music video. I just remember we walked into our video production class, and I remember just being like, "Yo, you watch that Humble music video?" And you're like, "I have not stopped watching it. I've watched it every
Bruh,
day for the past 2 weeks since
it's
it's been out.
so
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's everything. I love it so much. Like, I don't know. We talked about the fire thing. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
image is just iconic.
Yeah.
Um, like the whole him in the priest wear, really amazing. Another music video that I like is the what is it? The All Right. I mean, All Right music video is really good. We still haven't gotten that record that's at the beginning of that song. The
Oh yeah.
some many gonna see me. I'm the Kendrick
Yeah, yeah,
Lamar
yeah.
MC. Still waiting for. At this point, I know the moment's already passed. Like, we're never gonna get that song, but that music video was such a great moment. I remember just seeing it on TVs everywhere. Like, when I'd go to Costco, they'd play that music video. Um,
Wow.
so no, really good record. Any other music videos that stand out to you?
From Kendrick, man, I mean, the I really do wish that there was a good Kid Mad City music video. I felt like of all of the Kendrick songs, that is the one that deserved a music video.
Mhm.
But in terms of other music videos, I mean, honestly, like Heart Part 5 is probably like up there with like
Oh, I forgot to
video
mention. Yeah.
video concepts. But I also like um I liked the music video for DNA, of course, with Don Cheadle and like all that, and like the girls swerving around in the Nissan,
Love that.
um,
Yeah.
uh, what's it, the God is Gangsta music video where he's like getting
Oh.
hella drunk and like he's kind of like divulging and just kind of like deteriorating throughout the whole music video, like he's like going
Hmm.
crazy. Um, what else? Yeah, those are some good ones. I mean, of course, swimming pools like that was like iconic for my childhood. I feel like I when that song came out and that music video came out, I found a shirt at like PacSun that said "Don't kill my vibe," and I'm like, I thought it was hard, bro. I was like, yo, this is what Kendrick be talking about. They made it into a shirt.
Yo.
I wore that shirt, and then people clown me for it.
Nah, really?
I remember some people were talking shit, and they're like, or like someone was like, a teacher was like, "Don't kill my vibe." What does that mean? And I was
Oh
like,
my
just
God.
like you're killing the vibe right now by asking me.
Like, shut up, old man.
Yeah.
How many times you got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah.
Uh, I love that. I love that music video. Also, the Love music video is really cool. I remember that was how he
Yeah.
announced he was working on the Panther soundtrack.
Oh
Because
yeah.
like there's like a slate and it goes like Black Panther 2
Mhm.
like soundtrack music video or something and it cuts. So yeah, really good song, really good music video. In general, I just love how he takes the same amount of care in his music videos as he does his album. So can't wait
Mhm.
for whatever is to come with this new era. Um, I don't know what let's see what else is there. We got um just like we'll just run through like do you have any other hot takes, any underrated slept on Kendrick songs? Like I know for me,
I
uh
have, I will say, I have underrated Kendrick Lamar performances.
oh, let's talk
Um,
about those. Yeah.
I will say, obviously, uh, the DNA and Humble performance of him, like, of the dudes in the back walking up the firewall. I forget what it was for. I want to, was it the Grammys? Something like that, but it was that, I don't know if you remember that, but it was just like this insane,
It's the one where he's wearing
set
like the red
piece.
bandana.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I love that one. I love the other one he did for, maybe that was the Grammys. And it was like Dave Chappelle was there, and it was like
Yes,
and
that's
it,
the
it
best
was like
one right
the
there.
crazy rendition of like the tribal drum version.
A big
Um
shot.
a Big Shot, which was dope. U2 came out crazy, but I think one that is severely underrated um was on, was it Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel? I think it was, I forget which Jimmy it was. Sorry, I just looked it up. Think it was the Tonight Show or something. But it is Untitled 8 on Jimmy Fallon, I think.
Oh
His
yeah.
version of that song on that like like one of the best live renditions of a song I've seen, like to this, like put from album to stage, because that song on the album is so different. It's very laid back. It's very kind of like two step. It kind of has a bop to it, but on this one, it's like super raw, and really hype. He has like a live band that does it really like amazing. Like I would love to see him perform that live. It almost felt like a Tiny Desk version, but obviously ramped up and like super
Mm.
hype, of that song. So if you haven't seen that, look up Kendrick Lamar Section 8. I think Jimmy Fallon, I want to say.
Yeah, just look up Kendrick Lamar Jimmy. You'll find it.
Yeah.
I like yeah. Another Grammy performance that I think was really sick was 2016 when he came out in the prison wear, performed
Yeah.
Black of the Berry, All Right, Untitled 3. Another great performance moment. And I also do want to do another spotlight on that other Grammys, with Triple X, Big Shot, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Super artful. It reminded me of just like how amazing he is as a performer, not just as a rapper and as an artist,
Yeah.
like as a performer. He does like everything he needs to do. He acts it out. He plays the part, he dances and all that stuff. So love that. Uh Going into like moments about Kendrick, one moment that I want to highlight was something you mentioned in Damn Part 1.
Mm.
Was that moment where he gets the torch passed to him by
Yeah.
like all the West Coast legends, Snoop Dogg. He said specifically like, "Oh, I want to you take the torch and you run with it." Like, and look what Kendrick has done since. So really dope.
Iconic moment.
Yeah. So last thing, and then we'll get into the draft.
Okay. And
Some of
then
his features.
we'll finally, I think we'll be close enough that the drop of the album will be imminent.
Yeah. I think I remember the Dawn FM draft was like 3.5 hours. I was like,
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know how we did that, man.
I don't know.
Uh, but features, best Kendrick features on tracks or best feature on a Kendrick song. So you could take it either way. Pause.
I think my favorite, one of my favorite Kendrick features, um, hmm, I really like his feature on "No Parties in L.A." Even though
Mm.
it is very short lived. Oh no, the
They got
Dawn,
mad.
the
Let's go.
Dawn,
It's not me. Let's go.
the Dawn took me. Okay, I'm gonna give you. Okay, Cesco, you go while I make my way out of the Dawn.
Man, finally, my thoughts podcast. This is about time. So I don't know. Let's talk about. I see anyone in the chat got anything to say? Yeah, the Don got mad, man. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Some of my favorite Kendrick features, man. I like Matt said, no more parties in LA. I love Wow Freestyle. That's a really great one. If you guys watch that's another music video. That's really dope. How they go slow mo. That was a really cool moment. Uh, his verse, of course, on "Doves in the Wind" is like one of the funniest things ever. The dudes will lose their mind for wine, for dine, for the word. It's pussy. Hopefully that doesn't get us demonetized. But "Doves in the Wind," one of my favorite songs off Control, and the Kendrick bar has or verse has something to do with that. One underrated feature y'all should check out. I don't know if a lot of people have heard this. It is his pain on BJ the Chicago Kids album. Super jazzy. It kind of feels like it's like at a speakeasy, just kind of like rapping about like the pain that a man like masculine trauma, basically that kind of thing. Really cool. Um, Let us know some of your other cool features that you guys like. Uh, let's see. What the weekend on the album is that can't be? Is that? By the way, does anyone have any new info? Did like any news break while we've been streaming? So let us know in the chat, all that stuff. Um, no one the thoughts on the album cover. Yeah, we kind of discussed a little bit about like what that album cover means. Um, yeah, definitely go check back that little area of the stream. And one thing I want to talk about, features on a Kendrick song, I think is a cool. Oh, Collard Greens, another great Kendrick feature. Schoolboy Q raps in Spanish, really great moment. Best feature on a Kendrick song. I got a couple here that I'd like to bring up for your consideration. Obviously, there's J Rock on Money Trees. That's like one of the standouts right there. Oh, I hear Matt getting closer.
We're gonna we'll see. We will see how long this lasts. I will say these batteries, they be lying
on
to me.
Shaky ground.
They be lying to me about how much is in them.
Yeah, no worries. All right.
So
Well, yeah,
this might have to be cut a little short.
Yeah, all good, all good. On that front, let's just go ahead and get into the Kendrick draft.
Okay, let's do it now before this battery kills me.
Let's do it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here. The album is coming. But before we do that, we want to go ahead and draft our perfect Kendrick album. So let's get right into it. Y'all know the rules. Y'all know what happens here. I have a coin here. And why don't you go ahead and call heads or tails? We'll call it in the air.
Yep.
All right, ready? 1, 2.
Heads.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the first pick, I will be drafting. No, so for the first pick, you know, I first pick, you always got to draft something that is like, you know, is gonna get taken.
Okay, okay.
And I gotta get Mad City. I think that's
Okay,
gotta be
yeah.
the first song I take off the board. You know, just because that song is like, when you think Kendrick, I think that intro is maybe one of the first things people think about.
Hmm.
So Mad City, and that'll be that first pick. You got back to back, so where are you taking this?
Okay. Um, let's do. I want to kind of go with Kendrick's jazz era here.
Oh,
Um, so first track, I will say one of my favorite intro tracks by Kendrick, and I think one of the best intro tracks ever. We will start with Wesley's Theory. Whoops, hold on. Wesley's Theory. I love the way that track builds and just how dense of a track that is, and just it's such a great way to like kick off Pimp a Butterfly, and I think will be a good way to kick off my album.
to pimp off that album.
Pimp off that album. And then from there, since I got back to back, I will go to, hold on. Let me make sure I'm picking the right one.
Mhm.
Okay, track number 2, Untitled 7.
Oh, okay.
That's the one where it's like levitate, levitate, levitate.
Levitate, levitate. I was just listening to that other day or today. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
great song.
Those are my back to backs.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought like I was leaving time just in case we had lagged out again.
Okay.
But yeah, man, there you go. I will get into, let's see. So the two songs that I will be drafting, I want Element. I think
Nice.
again, I need the songs that I feel like are going to take it off the board really quickly. Element is one of those records I need. And then I also want to go with Mortal Man. I think that's I have like a vague kind of concept for the album,
Okay.
but oh shoot, wrong thing. But yeah, Mortal Man, I like the storytelling in that record. I think it says a lot. And then having Tupac on there, on that album, I think is gonna be a plus. So that's there if you like it.
Nice. Okay, for me, my third pick, I'm going with Poetic Justice.
Damn, why did I take that?
Yeah.
No.
Come on, y'all. The Drake feature, like, come on. But I
Drake
love the way this
feature.
starts out, where it's like every second, every minute.
Man, I swear that she could get it.
Say if you a bad bitch.
Put
Yeah.
your hands up high.
I feel like
Love that song.
that would be a dope like
Fuck
transition.
me up.
Hell yeah. Wait, do I get back to back?
You got back to backs.
Okay. Okay, we got Poetic Justice on there. I feel like I want to skip around a little bit. And then after Poetic Justice, now we're going to get into the hype tracks. Number 4, we got High Power off Section 80. Yeah.
Incredible record. Yep. High power. You know what? Actually, yeah, for my next pick, I also want to go the Section 80 record. Let's go with the song that just every time it comes on, I just think of Section 80, like every single time. Let's go with ADHD.
Nice. Nice
Fuck
pick.
that. Like just
10 doobies.
super iconic.
Fuck
I love
that.
that record.
Nice.
Yeah, oh my God. And then we're gonna go. Damn, you actually did a lot of damage with me on picking Poetic Justice. Like that was gonna be a cool record on this album.
Yeah.
You know what? I mentioned this song earlier. I think it's a banger. Let's go with Untitled 2.
Okay.
You picked an Untitled earlier. I'll take mine.
Okay.
I think that song was just like an exercise of like how many aggressive flows I can get off at once. There's this one time where he's just kind of like terrified, all of these ones, and then he just kind of goes into this like sing-songy, like something amazing, something to blaze. Like this man is a lyric. He's like that's where like that Eminem influence comes in, where he's able to put on those voices and rap his ass off. So yeah.
Okay.
Untitled 2.
Going off. We're kind of in the hype, in the pretty hype part of ramping up to the hype part of the album. I want in the middle of my album, the hypest song, DNA off of Damn,
Ooh.
and then to follow that, let's get. Oh man, these are some power plays. Okay, we have DNA, and then let's do even harder. I want to hit them back to back. Blacker the Berry.
Wow. Oh my God, DNA and the Black of the Berry is a nice 2-track run right there. Whew.
All right, that's like the hypest part of the album. I'm doing a clear, narrative, peaks and valleys.
Okay, I like it. I'm actually kind of doing a similar thing. Untitled Volume, Untitled. I keep thinking Untitled Volume 2. I'm thinking like funk wave bounces. Okay, so next up, coming off of Untitled Volume 2, there I go again. We're kind of starting to go into the rapidy rap section, and I want to go further into that. Let's do Fear.
Oof, you were close.
Let's take Fear off the board.
You were close.
Really?
To grabbing mine.
Was it Duckworth?
No, not yet.
Okay, because the next song. Damn, I feel like what I'm gonna take this off the board. Fuck it, God.
Oh, okay. Damn. All right.
Is that the one? Because it was. I promise it was on my track list before you.
No, but I should have thought of that.
Okay.
That's a good one. I was gonna go with Feel.
Feel is my favorite song off that record.
That vibe is crazy. So that I think is gonna transition us from the Black of the Berry into like the more melodic storytelling type thing, and then we will get into. Wait. Oh, yeah. Feel into Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst.
Okay. Ooh.
That will be my first, or like my main storytelling one. Okay, I feel like that will be nice after Feel. I feel like is kind of a transition to this song.
For sure, yeah. I like it. I'll probably do some shifting around on my track list after we get done here, but yeah. My next pick. Oh wait, do you have one more?
No, that was my back-to-back.
That was your back-to-back. Okay, cool. So the next pick, I'm gonna go with Institutionalized. I love that that Snoop Dogg feature. That once was the time with
nice.
What is it? Some in the 5 foot something. Yeah. I know. I just pretty much forgot the whole line, but y'all know the one. And then another record I want is. Damn, there's just so many records to pick off.
I know.
Kendrick track list. Let's get. This is a song that I've played a lot. We talk about artists that like, Travis Scott saved my life or whatever. Like, those songs that are artists that like get you through tough times. This song really got me through some tough times, man. Real off of a Good Kid, Mad City. I think
nice.
what it has to say about, if I look in the mirror, I know it's real. It's really, really real. Like, I think that's a really cool message. So I'm gonna put that on that album.
I love that. This is not okay. The placement of this track, I'm gonna move it around, but I just realized I wanted it on my track list. I don't know what the rules are for this, in terms of like I can use a Kendrick feature, right? Or does it have to be a Kendrick song? Yeah. Okay.
No. You can use a feature, yeah.
All right. Family Ties, featuring Kendrick Lamar. Gotta be on the track list. Might have to be
the first. That might be either the outro or the intro. Like, you got to come in on smoking on top 5s.
Yeah.
Something like that, man.
For sure.
Whew. All right, where are you taking the last record off your album?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna rearrange some stuff now that I added that.
Same here.
But the last one I want. Oh man, this is hard. The last track I think. Ooh. Nah. I was gonna. We haven't tapped into one of his albums, which is the Black Panther album. But I feel like that it's just the sound of that is so hard to kind of mesh with.
True, yeah.
But let's get. Oh, I love it. My last track will be I off of
Wow.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Is it gonna be the album version with the live performance aspect to it, or
Yeah,
just like the single?
the live performance one.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And about that Black Panther soundtrack, really underrated gems on there. Bloody Waters, Redemption is one of my favorite, like kind of Afrobeat type records.
Yeah. I know.
Also,
I was close to picking. I was close to picking like King's Dead, obviously, or
Yeah.
Pray for Me, or Big Shot. Those are the ones I was looking for.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I have my hype tracks though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like we both like got those taken care of right away. Last record, I think would be just like the appropriate last song for this album. I'm gonna go with and we just mentioned it too. Compton. I think is just such a perfect like kind of end credit song.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So that's gonna be there, man. So yeah, give us a second to just kind of rearrange some things. So there's a draft.
Yes.
There's our Dream Kendrick album draft, and let's go ahead and rearrange some things. And,
Okay.
We'll report back in a second.
I'm gonna move this. Hold on. This is what we'll do. We're gonna start. We're gonna move this down
Okay.
to the last. Hold on.
Y'all see? God, Mortal Man. It all makes sense. It all
Nice,
makes
nice,
sense.
nice.
Okay.
Hold on. We have Wesley's Theory. We gotta start. Hold on.
Well, actually, let me shift this one. But yeah, let us know how you guys are doing. I'm about to get into the chat right now and see how y'all. Let us know what you guys think of our albums. Respectfully, Matt wins by a landslide. I feel that. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
honestly,
Finally,
I
I can
re-
win one of these, bro.
I really wanted Poetic Justice, man. That song is incredible. So, really interested if we ever get another Kendrick and Drake song. Really interested if we get that J. Cole and Kendrick record on this album. That would be really interesting to see. Let's see.
There we go. That's it. I think that's it.
Kitchen Boy,
Move
talking
this
about
out.
that Our Thoughts exclusive all raw footage, man. You need to relax.
Okay.
Let's see.
So this is my final track list.
All right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Go ahead. Walk through kind of the vibe, the pace you wanted to set this album with. Yeah. Let us know all that stuff.
Okay. So first off, we have our opening track, Wesley's Theory, banger of a track. Super dense. I love the way the sample kind of rises up slowly. It kind of like introduces you into the album. Really fun lyricism on that track. Kind of just setting the tone. Straight from there, we go into Untitled Unmastered. We have Untitled 7, which is a super dope kind of hypnotic track. It's the one where he's like, levitate, levitate, levitate. You know, that one. So very same vibe. Untitled Unmastered is just kind of some throwaways from Tip Pepper Butterfly. And then from there, we start hyping up. So we get into High Power. We start getting into more hype beat tracks. And then that one is not too like hard hitting yet. It definitely has like a nice flow to it, and I feel like would transition nicely into the album version, which has like this whole skit in the middle and stuff like that, and kind of like has Kendrick talking to the crowd, which I think is a really interesting note, because he's like kind of the voice of the crowd, where he's like, yo, like, this is not what we're gonna do, we're here to like to celebrate, we're here to have love, like, we're not here to be violent. And then we go to Family Ties, where it's like Kendrick talking about that shit again, where he's like,
Mm.
he's kind of like really bragging about he's the one. And then we get even higher up, where we get from finally Family Ties, we go to DNA, where he kind of just is like shitting on all the rappers. Like this shit is in his DNA, you know. He already said that he's top 5, all that, and then we get into his like commentary rap song, which is the hardest hitting song on this album, with Blacker the Berry. And then we kind of come down from that into Poetic Justice, which is a much more laid back. We got that Drake feature on there. And he kind of gets into very flowery imagery, you know, with the if a flower bloom in the dark, would you trust it? I love that line on this song. And then from there we get fully into this kind of like almost hypnotic. He's kind of going into like a comatose state, is what feels like to me. Is that instrumental is kind of like, it's kind of like that Chopped and Screwed, you know, it's kind of just the same loop over and over. Where and then we finally end with his best, one of my favorite storytelling tracks. One I think would be really interesting to end on with, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, because that song ends with he's like, I'm like, never fade away, never fade away, never fade away. And then that's kind of like an interesting way to end that whole album. So yeah, that's my album draft, my ideal Kendrick Lamar album.
Yeah, man. I love how cohesive it is. I love how that like general through line of, you know, you're just kind of witnessing like his rise.
Yes.
And then to end off with his most emotionally impacting record, I think is very nice touch. Very nice touch, if I do say so myself. Hoping for Range Brothers too.
I know. I saw that.
I know, man.
Nobody claimed the Range Brothers. You know, that could have been our opening track. Top of the morning.
If we could have one more round, I think "Sing About Me, Dying of Thirst" into Range Brothers would just hit the spot. You know, I think that would just be that would be the way to go. So yeah, with mine, I actually have an album title. So I was watching back his interview with Big Boy, and apparently the original album title for Damn was gonna be "What Happens on Earth Stays on Earth."
Nice.
And you can kind of see like the track list, kind of how that might go. So Mad City, we jump in straight into like, this is the streets that Kendrick grew up on, you know, and this is what he had to overcome, all that stuff. Like, you know, he had to overcome this Mad City. And then we go straight into Element, you know, like you were saying before, like this kind of like proclamation of like, this is who I am. What is it? You can take the kid out the street, but not the street out the kid. Like, you know, just kind of further reaffirm, you know, basically what DNA is to Damn. And then we kind of get into ADHD, where he's starting to recognize like the faults in the system, and kind of like, particularly in this case, drug abuse and drugs and all that stuff. So, and that kind of leads straight into Institutionalized, where now it's not even just because of, it's not even the streets that he is used to living in. It's, you know, Black people as a whole, and how they have to feel, you know, they feel institutionalized. And, you know, that overall concept that the song talks about, having that Snoop Dogg feature is really nice. I think that adds a, you know, next touch, and gives it that feeling of like, I really love that moment, like I said, of him, you know, getting the torch passed to him by Snoop Dogg, by Dr. Dre, by, you know, The Game, all those people. So having Snoop Dogg later, and later on Dr. Dre in there, I think I really wanted to harp on. And it's just kind of like an anxiety attack, I'm realizing, as I'm going through this track list, because you go from Institutionalized to Fear. And, you know, like I mentioned before, like that song is just like all about the trauma that has happened to him, and him coming to terms with all that. And I think having that voicemail at the end with Uncle Carl, where he's like, "Oh, you know, I love you, brother, and I'm praying for you, shalom," goes straight into Real, because I think that's like that would be like kind of the first positive mindset song on this album. So, you know, having that reminder of like, okay, despite everything that's going on, we're gonna be real, try to keep it real. Oh, you have an album title?
There you go. Pray for Me. That's my album title.
There you go.
That came to me.
Executive produced by The Weeknd.
Yes, and PG Lang.
Yeah, and PG Lang. And then last couple records, Untitled 2, I think is just a dope. I think that's just like the perfect moment to have that song. I don't really think it has like a story element to it that would help.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just kind of how I view that song is just like Kendrick elevate like at the peak of his powers. So I think from that into God, I think is a cool kind of thing. Then ending off with Mortal Man, obviously really cool moment. Having Tupac in there, having
Yeah,
him
that's cool.
speak to his idol. So that big three, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Dr. Dre
Damn.
being the features on the album will be really cool. Um, and last but not least, the end credit song, you know, you take it back to that's one thing that Kendrick's never forgotten is like his roots, the city he comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having, you know, despite all this like godly messages and him feeling like a prophet or whatever, to bring it back to his hometown where it starts, I think is a cool way to end the album. So there you go. What happens
There
on
you
Earth?
go.
Sorry, stays on Earth, and pray for me. There you go.
Yes,
Our
sir.
perfect Kendrick albums. And I think
I mean, you can
that
make a million different Kendrick albums, and they'd all be amazing. I mean,
really
that's
could.
that's how many good songs he has.
You could do like a live instrumentation type album where
Yeah.
it's like all Kendrick songs that sound like live. You could do just so many different like pure Compton, G-funk type songs.
Mhm.
Like I'd love that. So, you know, if you guys got your own dream Kendrick album, go ahead and send it in the not in the chat but message us, do all that fun stuff. Because we'll be checking them out. Paramedic in the Street. Yes.
Yes.
Fun fact, that song SOB performed at my junior
SOBRE.
prom.
Yo. I mean, they're from aren't they from like Vallejo?
They're from Vallejo,
Yeah.
where I'm from, 707.
Yes, sir.
Really weird seeing hearing my hometown talked about in the Kendrick song. So really cool, really dope moment. So I definitely should have picked that for sure. Definitely, again, if you wanted to keep it like to bars and all that stuff, Paramedic would be a dope pick.
Definitely.
But yeah, man. So
we
here
are
we are.
here, bro. Hopefully very soon, hopefully within the next hour or so, we will be receiving Kendrick's latest album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah, man.
Let us know final thoughts before we listen to this album for the first time. What could be an album that we will live with for the next 5 years. Final thoughts.
I am very excited to see what points Kendrick will make, not just for what has happened before, but what he foresees like being a problem later on. Like I think of, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly, like Tupac was ahead of his time in terms of
Right.
that whole thing about people swallowing up the rich and doing all that stuff. So I can't wait to see, you know, this is Kendrick at the peak of his powers. He's kind of become that prophet figure, that savior, the Messiah. So I can't wait to see as he, you know, is fully developed in that position, what he has to say about today's society. And I don't know. All I know is that I will be tuning in to some great music. That's something I'm never going to have to doubt with Kendrick. Music that's gonna, you know, that's gonna live on, that I'm gonna be able to show my kids. So I don't know. I hope y'all remember this last hour and a half before this album
Where were you?
graces our ears.
Let us know. Like 5 years now, we'll be like, where were you when Mr. Morale dropped? And and you were here. So thank you guys for coming through to us, coming through and kicking it with us on this pre-album stream. Had a lot of new people come by. Thanks again for all the people who subscribed and all the new people in the chat. We do these every week on Thursday.
Damn Part 2 coming soon.
Damn Part 2 in the vault. I mean, taken out of the vault and will be released live. You'll see an official announcement. All information regarding Damn Part 2 can only be trusted from the reliable source of Our Thoughts podcast. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, appreciate you guys. New Kendrick Lamar dropping in hopefully less than a couple hours. We'll see. And we'll be live tweeting the whole thing. So follow us on Twitter, Matt Mags on Twitter, Cheslito on Twitter, also on Instagram, and Our Thoughts podcast on everything. Appreciate you guys for coming through. And we're here, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't think we'd see it, but today's the day.
We're here, baby. Let's go.
See you on the other side. Peace.